going.
Hey, Red.
Doubting Thomas.
Red, you got to change your ad about call Patty to
Did that just run?
David Walsh's advertisement.
Are you sure it just ran? The wrong ad, hey. The wrong ad just ran. It says call Patty. Okay, so take that ad right now. I mean, I don't care if we're off the air and utterly kill it, ruin it, erase it. I never want her name mentioned anywhere.
I didn't offend you with that. Can't
Are
you
you
just
kidding?
edit
No.
it?
Here we go to the open.
No, if he puts it aside, it'll accidentally get played again like it did now. That's my point of view. When we're done with something, you got to destroy it at that moment, erase everywhere.
Red, we had 167,000 files transferred yesterday. I'm sorry I missed that one.
Don't you give me any shit,
I
boy.
would never.
Call Eddie Snowden. Get him back.
I would never put anybody's name on there other than yours.
Right.
Save the 20%.
Edward Snowden.
Mr. Cheap is in the studio. How you doing, Mr. Cheap?
Mr. Fromain, how dare he speak to you that way?
Yes.
Good morning, Steve.
For a moment, I was walking in Paris.
All right, now
How
listen.
could I be there?
Okay, now listen. We have to new rules in here. Finally, I've gotten more than one complaint. We have a good time on Thursdays, but we overtalk each other. And what does my sign say on the wall that I wrote 20 years ago? Be opinionated and welcome to our show. Be opinionated, enthusiastic. 2, tell stories. 3, don't talk over each other because it creates what?
On-air clutter.
Let's hear it from everybody.
On-air clutter.
Mr. Romang.
I would say dissonance.
Post-purchase dissonance. Okay, so
Welcome to the Radio College of the Airwaves.
Yes.
Teaching you how to be a better talk host.
yes.
Familiarize yourself. We
So-
have Joseph Sempervivo here,
Yeah.
the loser of that race, but yet he smiles. Everybody comes in and says, how's Joseph? Oh, he's home. He's on the floor banging his arms. You were happy as could be the other night.
Yeah,
You know, you're cool.
we had a volunteer party because I think it's very presumptuous and arrogant to have.
Thank
a
you for
victory party.
inviting me.
Thank you for all
Presumptuous
that
and
you
arrogant have a victory party.
Yeah.
You had a volunteer. Oh, the
Yeah.
guy's always got an angle there.
He
cares
It's a good
about
angle.
people.
My dad taught me, from an early age that you always respect and appreciate those that are working hard. And
All right, but the bottom line is, did you wake up the next day feeling like crap? Or how do you feel?
no. We felt we had a victory.
Look, you were a nobody. You're a somebody, but I mean, you were a nobody a year ago in this town.
Right.
You always got on your little jets and you flew out to do TV shows. You came here. Nobody knew you. Red Palmer knew you.
Yeah.
And once, I don't even think you came on my show much.
Yeah, I did.
Well, we did some interviews, but I mean, it was
Like
spotty.
16, 17 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't
but-
consistent.
But now you come along, and as a nobody, how much did your competition get, and how much did you get?
I think Joe Coakley got 9,000 votes and we got 8,000 votes.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
For a nobody just
Yeah.
starting out.
Yeah.
You set a good base. Look, Solari came in here with his tail between his legs. He lost the city election. The city election. How embarrassing is that? Then he came up and he lost the commission list, or vice versa. Maybe it was commission, then it was city. And then, but he's a champion. You know
Yeah.
why? Because he came back.
True.
And shock about Wesley Davis.
That
Everybody
was-
thought, Mr. Nolte's done a great job all these years, but it shows you the loyalty of this community. It's an unusual community. They were not ready. As long as you're still, even though he's double dipping, which, is kind of weird.
Yeah,
It used to be you worked for the city or the state, and, you made,
you did your 20 years in
equivalent today would be maybe $30,000 a year.
Yeah, he's 100 plus.
Here I am as an entrepreneur, putting my butt on the line, and I'm paying their salaries, and they will retire with 7 times that of the private sector.
Well, here-
There are people out there making sandwiches
It's not
over at
right.
17th Street.
It's not
People are running dry cleaning stores. They're taking chances. And if they fail, there's no safety net.
None.
Yet they come work in the government. Something has gone awry here
Right.
with our economy.
It's called voting. It's called voting.
Yeah, everybody's, hey, tell you what, man,
Well,
I think I'll run for Congress because what will I get one time? I get what for the rest of the month? $187,000 a year, one time.
Well, if you look at the Wesley Davis race,
Shocked.
he worked his tail off. And here's the thing. I mean, you look at the contrast, and congratulations, obviously, to Dave Nolte
Yeah,
and to Joe Coakley.
We need to congratulate us.
you bet.
David Nolte has done a great job
Yeah.
serving this community. I
He
thought,
has.
though, he's
He has.
sticking around a little too long. I thought this is no way for him to exit. I was absolutely confident he was going to lose. For that, I'm glad he won. But now I would say after the next 4 years, take a hike.
Well, to all the to all the candidates out there that won their race, congratulations.
Yeah,
Aaron Grawl, everybody
Yes.
worked really hard
You
for
bet.
a really long time.
Hold on. Now we have to keep coming these things. Sykes. Now I'm the one that posted it in Facebook. The day that those things came in the mail, I said, "You have lost this election. Mark my words." Was I right? Was I right?
you
Where's
were
my
right.
sound effects? There you go. Very good.
Ah.
We got
Well-
the Irishman in there. Good, Murphy. Keep it up, Murphy. There.
So
We might give you some porridge at lunch.
for all the candidates that are out there that ran a race, win or lose, you got to look at one thing. You threw your hat in, you
Yeah.
fought, and you ran a race and gave up your life for 9, 12, 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah,
I mean, that's impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
that you
Who are we
sacrificed
talking
that.
about now?
All the candidates
Everybody.
that went out there campaigning hard.
I was thinking about that.
That-
A year and a
that's-
half ago, I ended up going to an event for, different people
Yeah.
at different places. And I remember going, wow, I mean, what's this foray into politics? Can you imagine what it's like to, now let's take a look at Sykes. Now he's a young guy
Mm-hmm.
and I've known his mother in real estate.
Carolyn.
Nice lady.
yeah,
He seems to be somewhat nice, although
He is.
doesn't-
He is.
Well, he's okay in a perfunctory way, but it doesn't really let you in. They don't let me in. But anyway, so, he's there. He's handsome. He looks like the part. I thought he was absolutely going to win. And when you have $300,000 that's given to his campaign, and that's just what we know about. What do you call those special groups that put
and
PACs, political
PACs?
action
Did you
committee.
see I mean, Barbara
doesn't
comes
matter.
in one night and there's not a postcard.
Doesn't
Remember
matter.
we went a few years ago from postcards to giant postcards? She walks into the house, he poster. How do they get it in our mailbox?
Right.
And it's a terrible picture of Aaron. I'm going, what the heck is
Oh,
going on?
no.
And I was really scared. But when you go ahead, it's just amazing though that you could have 300,000 there plus another 300,000 at least in packs. We're looking at close to $1 million.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, you got to wonder, what were they expecting? Because that's what they're willing to pay to get the guy in office. Then they're going to go, hey, we want to buy some land up there on 95 near 512, make it go through, and there'll be a sack of money in your back pocket.
Well, I think that's
Wow.
Come on, what goes on?
I think
Well,
that's the
that's-
issue of being
that's-
principled.
Something doesn't jive here.
No, well, look.
And we, the people, want to know.
So I mean,
No.
I'm invoking rule number 3: don't talk over people. So you're number 3 over there. Don't talk over
I can't say anything. I'll talk over.
on our. So no, but the big thing.
Shut up,
is,
Murphy.
the big thing here is you have individuals spending the money. They may be principled, and they want to defend that seat to make sure that somebody who's a constitutionalist, who is principled, is getting into the position, and that's why sometimes they spend that kind of money. And a lot of people ask me, why would you spend, $1 million on a position that pays 50 grand?
Yeah, why?
It just doesn't make a lot of
Is
sense.
that how much you spent? No.
Well, first of all,
Well,
our position is non-paid, so you're doing it.
That brings down. So why would you spend 50,000?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't spend 50 grand on mine, but when you look at these candidates that dropped, $300,000, Erin Grawl had great name ID because she ran before. She was unsuccessful only by a hair. Only by a hair.
She lost by only 200 votes the first
Yeah,
time.
like
Yeah.
And I was shocked she lost that time. That's only because the guy was up there was saying something about it negative. But anyway, the point is,
Yeah,
and that not only, but look at this guy had $600,000 in his camp, 700,000 total maybe.
300. He had 300.
He had 300. The PACs. We're talking about the PACs.
But that balance.
So
was out.
$500,000, and he didn't look at his votes.
Yeah.
They were you at least got you got 8,000 votes. You were nobody. He got only how many votes? 500. That five?
No.
5,000.
He had 22% of the vote, or 24%, I think, and Aaron had 44%. It was almost a 2-to-1. And then, but
And with all that
Mackay barely jumped in. Greg Mackay barely jumped in, and I think he might have.
Who was in that race?
It was
Gladys.
Grawl, Sykes, Mackay and Gladding. But I can't remember at the end if Mackay overtook Sykes in the end.
No.
I know in Indian River
No.
County it was back and forth, and it was
No.
Greg
Are you
Mackay was.
kidding? Let me ask you this
I
though.
can't remember.
Sykes has got to be saying, if it had just been him and Aaron, I mean, he's got to be saying, as anybody would do, well, if
Yeah.
Gladding wasn't in it, then you're looking at those, and then you're looking at the one from Mackay, he would have taken the election.
You know, there's no sense. If
But
you're-
I think a lot of the people that voted for those people would have voted for Aaron. So I
There's,
don't think
yeah, I think the reality is the margin would have become greater in favor of Aaron.
Yes.
But just by looking at the numbers of the election night, 44, they, you know, all in all, they ran amazing campaigns. I got to meet each of the candidates out on the campaign trail. You know, Bernie was out there waving signs.
Bernie,
Mrs. Grawl-
Bernie wasn't there?
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
Bernie Grohl.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
Grohl.
Bernie. Feel the burn, Bernie.
I met, you know,
I
Dale.
thought Bernie had been here.
Dale
So hurry up! I can still do this. I can do that. Hillary might drop dead, and I will be there. I'm sorry. Okay.
invoking number 3.
I do want to say this.
Yeah.
You see, you always roll your eyes and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but understand what's the percentage of the people that live in Indian River County that showed up to vote?
About a third.
A third. Okay.
Correct.
So do you understand why I put goofy stuff in when you guys are on here? Because when you talk politics, you got to, I know we do have the people that actually go and vote do listen to this broadcast.
Yeah.
But you also got 2/3 out there. And I got a lot of ladies, a lot of people that aren't interested in politics. And it's a big yawn for them.
Yeah.
That's why when you're on, if you really want to build a base, talk about running for office, but talk about things that have stories to them and things that matter. Think about the person who's the non-voter.
That's rule number
That's
2.
where you grab
That's rule number
stories.
2.
The most boring speakers you ever have, and want to go slap them across the face. They get up there and they go, A, B, C, D, who cares? Not me. Tell me a story. The Indians have a saying. Tell me a fact, then I'll learn. Tell me a truth, and I'll believe it. But tell me a story, the American Indian said. Tell me a story that will live in my heart forever. Mr. Fromang, you're biting at the bit. We haven't given him a chance.
You haven't even introduced the two guests.
Who, these two characters?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, but
It's Larry, the great chef who made the really good pork the other night. Man, that was awesome pork.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you have your love comes through in your food.
Absolutely.
See,
Yeah.
everything about your life, the love comes through. Good to have you as a friend.
God,
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Okay, now
that's
Mr. Fromang, welcome here, attorney at law Fromang.
Yes, good morning. Good
And he's
morning,
looking
y'all.
dapper in his crisp white shirt, his nice blue tie,
Yes, thank
the
you.
good nicely
Thank you.
coiffed with
But-
your hair and full shaven. I'm telling you, you come in here, you
Well-
respect us. We appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Red.
Well,
But
thank you.
but might I just add that instead of saying that he's a nobody, I would say that Joe Sempervivo is a wonderful, great person to have stood up and did and stood out there and did what he did, and the way he was going to help Vero Beach is extraordinary. And never would I ever let anybody say or refer to him as a nobody.
No, but you know what I mean.
No, I
Thank
don't
you.
know what you
But you
mean.
know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Just like he told all the voters the other day that I don't call them back. And then
Oh,
everybody-
please, don't
and I
try
got
to call that
text message after
47.
text message. You
I
said,
didn't- what-
you
what-
attacked me. You attacked me on there that I don't ever call you back. I don't invite you to the party. All
Try
these
calling.
people
Wait,
did
wait,
not
wait,
know
wait.
me.
I was only, that was a big joke.
And you know, I
there.
got 1,204 people that contacted me.
Yeah,
His sister was listening.
She
His
was.
sister
She
doesn't
got
know
mad.
that we're like brothers that pick on
I
each
told
other.
her that. I said, you know, we play with each other. We play with each other back and forth. We play with each other back and forth. You know, and people don't know our banter, but it was only playful and it was a
Well,
loving
you know,
thing.
It's a
But
good lesson, though. You have to be careful.
never
because-
talk bad about me on air.
well, yeah, because a lot of people don't know the
Yeah,
camaraderie
yeah,
between you two.
yeah.
And like remember when he went camping and you asked me, Stephen, do you think the Grizz got him? I said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, so I took umbrage with the word nobody.
Yeah.
Okay, because as they say, in your situation, you were a titan.
You know, I bought.
This means we're gonna go on break.
Hello.
You were a Titan, Joe.
Oh, I'm so sick of politics. A con man with their bag of tricks.
Not Joe.
Cookie kings and Roman princes.
Yes.
We'll be back with the Cookie King when we return.
Yes.
They pulled up in their limo today. Where the heck did you get that red truck from? You guys always shock me. I tell you, I never know what English you're wearing. Hey, this is the mayor of the Airways. Today's podcast.
Where are y'all?
Oh, gosh.
You were off right before limo, thank God. Boom, boom. Probably heard limo.
Yeah.
I got a bone to pick with you on the air. I will not pick it off the air. It's going to be on the air.
You never give me a ride in your Rolls Royce. Now, if I go away or something, I drop dead. You have to take your
God
Rolls
forbid.
out, prop my body up, and so you drive me around.
Heart of Thunderstone, right there.
Yeah.
He doesn't want
I didn't mean to cut you off, Rob.
he doesn't want me to drive it around because then they, just like he said,
Please.
they would think Mr. Richport.
You should have seen what happened. He shows up to the
Oh,
polls.
yes, God.
The silliest move in the world. He shows up to the polls in the Bentley with my signs on the side. Everybody starts to say,
Yeah.
"You guys own a Bentley?" And then that was it. I got the cold shoulder from half of the people
Oh,
there.
come on. It wasn't
Really?
that
No, they
bad.
didn't give me the cold shoulder, but people were all asking, "You guys have a Bentley? You drive around?" Ermin, the fireman, brought it up. You, how much did that
There's
cost?
another
20
one.
seconds.
Hold on, we'll come back. Herman,
Who
too.
cares? Not the car. There's so much going
We didn't
on.
get it for nothing.
I want another fake drum set. I loved playing the drums in here.
On
What's
reverb,
that? Oh, wait, you know, they've got those digitals now,
on
man.
reverb, Brett, you would
Could you
be
get me? What?
godlike.
Hey, give me a little reverb. I'm so sick of politics. How about you? Oh man, Joseph sitting here. He's black and blue. You going on vacation, man?
No.
No, after all that work, most politicians go on vacation. Ermin. Now I really thought with all his dough behind him from the unions that he was. I mean, I really thought Tim was not going to make it.
You know, it goes to show you that the unions don't have the strength is what they believe to have. But without the unions, I think that the gap would have been much, much greater.
You know what else helped him? You know what helped him?
Who? Tim
When-
or Irvin?
No, this is what helped him. When Tim was in here, we had a huge listenership close to the
Yeah.
election. You heard it.
Yeah,
And
the mistake
Mark,
you-
It was
when Mark
huge.
called him a crook. Oh my God.
Who
First
called
of all,
who?
that cost
Mark
Mark.
Rodolico.
That cost him hundreds.
I
of
lost a
votes.
lot of respect for Mark. I know you're listening, Mark, but I lost a lot of respect for you when I
Well,
was.
he's my friend, as you are, and I am absolutely committed. I will not change my stance for my friends. But yes, I will admonish him in loving. I said, you know, when that night we went out and exercised, I said that you know.
No, there was a forum, and I went there. You know, we were waving signs, and I took off on Thursday. I took a 45-minute break
Yeah.
and went down to CJ Cannon's where they had the professional women's club,
Oh,
and
boy.
and there was a debate, a forum between White and Laura Zork, and at the end of the debate, Mark Rodolico came up to Laura Zork and said, "You did an amazing job, such a fantastic job." I've always loved Mark. He's just a huggable guy, great guy. I've loved
Hair
talking
guy.
to him. Yeah, that Mark, the hair guy. So I'm talking to Mark and Laura because Laura and I were talking, and Mark came in and just kind of interjected and said that, and Laura was really happy, and I thought that was really cool that he did that. He took a picture during the debate and posted it, saying with an X through Laura's face, saying he voted for White, not to support Laura Zork. I don't care how he voted. You know, that's his right, and that's why we live in America, and that's fantastic. But to go to someone's face and to say you did an amazing job, you know, implied that she had his
Listen,
support,
well,
and then stab her in the back an hour later.
No, come on now.
No, that was wrong.
What? That's accusatory to say stab in the back.
Okay, sorry,
That
Mark.
was
I didn't
wrong.
mean accusatory.
That's
Yeah.
as
I
bad as-
apologize.
That's almost as bad
I
as, you better
apologize.
watch out, because you may run against something.
Hair
No, I
bad.
apologize.
That's almost as bad as saying.
Oh, let me.
calling
Hey,
Tim a
Bad hair.
all
You
this,
don't-
all this negative
No.
attention on me. Wait, let me change it real quick. Let me
Oh,
turn it
wow,
on you.
wow.
Okay, so
Me?
yeah,
Yeah.
you
I didn't run. I don't deserve this.
Bad
you were
hair day.
tremendous. You were a tremendous help in the campaign. And I know I told you behind the scenes that I'm very appreciative of what you've done.
You're
Yeah.
just saying that it's obligatory.
Just no, now I'm gonna nail you for something. So Rhett's at the house because not you have to always tell the story, right? That's one of Rhett's rules.
Okay.
So we're at my house and I wanted to show my appreciation for what Rhett did.
Oh.
So all the volunteers at our volunteer party that worked more than 3 days on the campaign got a plaque
Wow.
and it got an appreciation, right? So, and we cooked the food for all of our guests and everything, all the volunteers that sacrifice their time. So I give Rhett this plaque. And so I come in today,
Yes.
right? It's dirty. It's
Wow.
laying down on the table,
In the
not even
table.
displayed. It's not even displayed.
Hold
How
on.
about
Let me tell you, but let me know.
That cost me a lot of money.
Now here's mine. $25. What was that thing?
Probably 32.
I was surprised knowing how cheap you are. I was surprised.
Hey,
He's not cheap.
Well, he can be. He can
It's
be frugal.
symbolic.
But listen, well, I will say this. I'm sitting there and all the volunteers are there. And of course, I'm thinking, he's about to do this announcement. He's going to give away awards. And I'm thinking, I wonder if at the very end, maybe, I really thought that. I said, maybe, do you think he'll remember me that, the ads in the magazine, that I went on the radio and I did this. And I mean, there were a number of things I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
You're my
absolutely.
friend. I went to town for you.
You sure did.
But you don't know if people know that
Right.
because they might forget. So I'm sitting
Right.
there going, quietly, I'm sitting there going, I hope they remember. And it's like one of those things where I honestly thought maybe at the end, I said, boy, Rhett, you're going to be awful hurt if he doesn't acknowledge you somehow.
Oh
a
my
little bit.
God.
So I thought at the very end, which Jesus is the story where you go and you sit at the front. Be careful because they'll put you to the back. But if you go and you sit in the back, you get the front. So I'm in the back thinking I'm going to be the last guy. And he says, and the first one is Rhett. I was like, shocked.
Well, I wanted to recognize you from the very beginning.
Thank you for thanking me for thanking you.
Well, thank you for thanking me for thanking you.
Oh, there it is. It's in the window.
Thank you. He did.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. He did. Sean cleaned it. Look at
Yes.
that.
It sparkles. It
Now
barely
we'll put it
sparkles.
outside next to the other award that I got over there, the one that's the microphone.
Yeah.
And let's see how long it takes for that to disappear.
No, you keep it right there. I like that.
That's one of the things, people won't steal awards because it has my name on it,
Well,
generally, right? I
yeah,
don't know. They steal everything else.
your name's on that. And
Right.
it says presented to Rhett Palmer, Sempre Vivo campaign, and we
Wow.
put the date, 8/30/2016. And it's a bunch of stars.
So hold on, put it over here. We'll put
Like
it
a
on
shooting
Facebook
star.
the next segment.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
It is
We got about 30 seconds.
I like to keep it in that window. I like
Okay,
that.
we have about 30 seconds here. We have Joseph Sempervivo in here, the guy who lost.
I wouldn't put it that way. I wouldn't put it that
We
way.
have
know what?
Dan Larry, and we have who's the winner because he makes the best pork. We got to have more of these runs, man. 'Cause
Right,
The food was good out
okay,
there.
anytime.
And this is the mayor. We'll be back on the other side of the news. I didn't get to say stuff, Mr.
Boy,
Foreman.
he's really slamming you, Joe.
That was fun.
And
Now your
that was
sister's,
fun.
now your sister's listening again. She'll be pissed. Here's Joseph the loser. Look, here it comes now.
I can't stand that.
Oh,
can't
no,
stand
actually,
you
it's
saying
Vinny
that.
Solano.
Oh, he's listening, brother.
I just can't stand that
Yeah,
because he's not.
no. He fought a good campaign.
How long's break?
He came from.
How long's break?
Nobody knew
I
that.
got Vinny
7
Solano.
minutes.
7 minutes right now?
See, it's message. Joe had
Hey,
message.
Oh, I'm at the radio station.
You know what, why the fireman lost?
Yeah.
Because he attacked Zork, calling him a flip.
Yeah, but I didn't
flopper and
know
all-
that.
Yeah, and
Calling what?
him a flip flopper on different issues, which was stupid. Then to say that they were childhood friends. How do you attack your friend?
You don't.
Stick to the campaign, what you're going to do. Do not
Yeah,
attack.
leave him
Don't
alone.
attack your friends.
Just say what you're gonna do.
Yes.
And leave the other guy alone because obviously there's a lot of people out there that don't like what he's doing. So why attack him?
I couldn't help it. I said, I told him about it.
Well,
You know,
Larry,
you're wrong.
the
He didn't like it, but I told him.
put it on Facebook.
Oh,
The other day,
oh, you mean
we
you
were
two?
trying to decide how to
Just put it in
keep
front of me
this
and I'll
thing
put it on
going
Facebook when we
during
open
the
up.
7 minutes because we're
Okay,
so-
yeah.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
I'll put it right here
And
so
the
you
reason
remember.
why I
I'm
don't
an
know the
award-winning
format.
talk radio
I don't
guy.
know the format of this.
You can see my awards on display. I may be
Come
ugly,
back with that one, Rhett.
I may be fat, even my hair, what I got left is turning gray. But I'm an award-winning radio
3 minutes.
talk show.
And you ain't afraid of video.
And afraid of video.
My biggest,
Bring it on every time.
I sometimes I think it's my biggest fault. I'll tell the truth all the time, and sometimes people don't like it. But
Larry,
if someone asks you,
may I say
you have
this?
to- you have to-
at 80 years old, Frank should always know candor.
That's it. You know, and I tell them, do you really want to hear the truth, or you want me to lie and say if you
No,
disagree?
no, right there, that's Butterball. You can take and one thing I can tell you about Rhett, he knows which side his butter's breaded on.
Rhett's a good man.
Oh, you kidding? Please. I will say this, that
Good for nothing.
he and Joe, really not only play off well against each other, but
Yeah, we have fun.
in vaudeville,
Who else
there was
could get on
always
the
what's
radio
called
and
the
say,
foil. You
"We
had
got
the one and the
Joseph
two, and
Lewis,
always the
right?"
third jumping in.
Yeah.
Foil.
That's
Really. We're the, by the way,
we're the fire. What do they call it? Fiber or former for the cannon?
that's it. Well, this one fella said, describing Rhett getting upset sometimes, they said, as violently as hasty powder fired doth hurry from fatal cannon's womb. Hasty powder fired, huh? Hasty powder fired, huh? Doth hurry from fatal cannon's womb. Let me just say this. I'm getting ready to have a trial. I'm getting ready to pick juries next week, maybe. Depends upon whether or not I get caught. But if I do, I'm gonna pick a jury for that case I was telling you about.
Okay.
Now, she's going to
1
ask.
minute.
She's going to ask me, Mr. Fromming, would you like to ask questions of this here fine Benari? I'll stand up. First thing, I'm going to look out over that sea of faces and sort of look over at the guy over in the corner that's got that rope preparing the hangman's knife. And I always look over at him and say, you gonna give him a fair trial? And he always looks back at me and says, sure, kid. Then we're gonna go out and hang him.
Airtime, 30 seconds.
You know, the Sons of Italy, I mean, the Tag Club,
Yeah.
they need money. So I'm gonna lend them 65,000.
No, not a dime.
Dime?
Not a dime. Let me tell you why.
Okay, all right.
I'll be back in there.
Okay.
I chumma changa wanga wanga dinga danga doo. I wanna kiss you, baby, 'cause I love you. I like your pretty hair and your perfume is true. I wanna kiss you, baby, 'cause I love you. When I'm feeling lonesome and we walk by the sea, you make me happier than a man can be. I love you, baby, you know that's true. I wanna plant kisses all over you. Why you like this old balding guy? Gray hair and about to die. I don't know why. My, but chicky changy dingy dangle doomba damba doo. Hey, I love you, baby, and you know it's true. It's true. All right.
What did he?
Very good. I the reason I did that is like, I was out in the kitchen just now, you got this little melody at the beginning of that, and I like it. If I don't put it down on tape, it'll be gone forever. So those are just still in words for something that'll be useless later. Anyway, how you doing, Larry?
I'm doing great. I'm all excited. I watched the speech that Trump gave last night.
Oh.
His 10 different things that he's
How
going
was
to
it?
do. It was fantastic.
Hey, don't you think he made a very wise decision?
Brilliant.
Excellent.
The guts
Excellent.
of that guy after what he said about Mexico.
I know.
Brilliant.
Oh, Mexico, I've never been, but I sure like to go. Remember James Taylor?
Yeah.
And here he shows up in Mexico, the gall, and he makes friends with that. And you could tell that he was
Yes.
humbled by his encounter with the president.
Yes.
Oh, I'll tell you what,
And then
though.
you've seen presidential, didn't he?
He, that's what I was just going to say.
Of course.
For once, he seemed serious.
Even the liberal press liked it.
Yes.
No,
I'm
they
telling you,
disliked
he
it,
did.
and they left.
No,
and
they
No,
liked
he
it.
did a good
Excuse
job.
me, I watched all the news things.
How
about
about
ABC,
this
NBC.
morning?
No,
No, they liked the fact that he went to Mexico.
no, he did a good job. And I think he has a good plan. The thing is,
Excellent plan.
we have to keep Americans safe. That's supposed to be the first thing any president's supposed to.
Yes.
And then when he brought in all the mothers and people who lost children because of the illegal convicts and murderers
Yes.
that Obama let free.
Yes.
And if they would have done their job, all those children would have been alive today.
Yes.
But, I feel in my heart, I say, forget you Democrats are going to have to start protecting the American people. You're so interested in bringing people here for the Democratic vote
Yes.
that
The vote.
the American people come second.
Yes.
These people would have had their children if you would only follow our laws.
But they won't.
They won't do it.
They won't for the vote.
Put down your.
No, we're going live on Facebook. It's an entirely different thing.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I was admonishing Joseph
Yes.
for holding on, picking up his cell phone during the broadcast. Then he immediately puts it down, upside down, and I pick up mine. And he starts to break up. That's because I was going to go live on Facebook. We got to change this. I want cameras in here. I shouldn't have to. Is there any way they put cameras in?
You're so
So they
high
can go to
maintenance.
this- I don't want to have to hold this
I don't
camera
want
like
to have to
this.
hold my phone. It just takes too much effort.
I
Uh,
gotta pay attention to the people in here. By the way, that's Joseph Sempervivo, the big loser.
Hello, Jim. Why do you say
Because
that?
I lost
Because
28 pounds.
You know what? Because
That's
he
not
lost
right.
28 pounds.
Okay,
He
for
lost
that,
the
yes.
election, but the other guy only won by 1,000 votes. 8,000 votes for somebody that was not known a year ago in this community. And Joseph Cloakley's been going around shaking hands for 40 years.
Yeah.
You know about that? And he got 9,000, you got 8,000. You
That's
did
it.
good.
One thing I always like to add is that, you say a big loser, but I look at it as the opposite, as a big winner. And here's
You
why.
bet.
We were one of the only campaigns. At the end of the day, we had 45 volunteers at the end of the day,
Cool.
most of which were millennials out there waving signs. Parents that brought their kids out. We had like Gia who brought Stephen and Giovanni, and we had the Granbergs that brought Joseph and Allison and Ray and Jimmy out to wave their signs. I mean, we had parent after the Sullivans. We had so many parents there that brought their kids out. It was completely involved. My dad on the last day decided to help out and wave some signs. 81 years old, standing out there in the rain waving signs.
Yeah.
I mean, we had all different demographics, male, female, age, differences out there. Stephen Fromé waved signs outside
Yes.
of Piper.
And the big giant banner that went across the sky, pulled by that biplane.
Yeah. So, I mean, so when you look at things like that, that's a winner. To have people coalesce behind your campaign and volunteer their time day after day after day,
Message.
8 days in a row.
Well, you know what impressed me, Joseph? The fact that there were young people getting involved.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that you can do. You can relate to.
Yeah, how much did you have to pay those young people?
Not a
Nothing.
dollar.
They're
Nothing.
volunteers.
I
was trying to be funny.
Yeah, we provided everybody with soft drinks, water, food.
Yeah.
And that was one thing.
Oh, and by the way, I never knew before, Larry, that you could get Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Little teeny tiny squares that are adorable. And they make these little tiny hors d'oeuvre Chick-fil-A's. How
Yeah.
much are those, by the way?
He may buy a whole tray. Yeah.
I ate a whole tray
They
the
do
other
not.
night.
We
Red, they do not make them at night. They
only
made
for
it
breakfast.
specially for me.
Oh, they don't
Correct.
normally do this?
No, they make them all the time, but for
They're only
breakfast.
for breakfast,
Yes.
right.
It's only for breakfast. It was chicken.
That little chicken things are only for breakfast.
Correct.
Those
They
little
are?
tiny, that's
Yeah.
all. You get 4 for $3.29.
No. See, I
Really?
learn something new every time I'm with
Yeah.
you guys.
Yes,
Right.
but I talked to the manager, and because I guess he
He,
kind of liked
Da-
my looks.
he's Daniel's, that's Daniel's cousin.
Oh, that's
volunteer
why.
Daniel's
Let me ask
Daniel
something, hold on.
Brennan.
To our people that are on Facebook, Ann Conklin is saying there's no audio. Oftentimes, it's because somebody's not pressing the right button. It's pilot error on their part. Tom Patrick, you still there? Anybody that's tuning, could you just send me a message at the bottom of the screen there that let me know, can you hear me?
Well,
If I don't get any, then I'll figure,
so we haven't heard anything Joe said so far? Or
Oh,
your
no,
Diddy?
no.
I haven't heard your song.
Facebook.
Oh,
On Facebook. How
okay.
you doing? By the way, Mr. Fromek.
Yes.
First of all, how are you, Mr. Fromek?
Oh.
Oh, what are you doing?
Get a buzzer.
What? No. I want you to monitor the Facebook and see we have audio on it. Would you put your phone on and go to the app? Okay, thank you. Then, Mr. Fromek, I was neglectful. Hi,
Yes.
Bobby Odell. Tell me something. Can you hear me? Because Ann Conklin up above you there is saying there's no audio rep, but most times it's pilot error. That's somebody else. So
Wow.
whoever is viewing us on Facebook, could you please text me immediately on here or whatever to message me that you can in fact hear? And no one's saying anything yet, so maybe we do have. The other day we were in here
Yes.
and Mr. Rodolico came by here, Mark, but
Yeah.
then they had like 12 people with the signs. And then when it played back at night, there was no audio.
Oh, that's a
I think
shame.
I'm being muted by Facebook.
What could be?
You know?
Could be.
Yeah.
But all of your songs seem to me to be original, aren't they? Don't they
Yeah,
sound
they are
original?
original.
Yeah, they do.
Really? I've never,
Hey, you know
I've never
what
heard
it-
such ditties.
You know what impressed me? about
Curtis
you?
Carpenter says we can hear you. Robert Odell says, yes, I have audio. Okay, Sean
Okay.
Murphy. Thank you, Sean. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Froman.
No, I was just going to comment that you keep referring to Joe as somehow a loser. I can assure you that there are so many people in this community that not
Now,
only
wait a
know
second.
him, but say upon
Now,
every
listen,
time they hear his name, they say he is a freedom fighter and he's going to carry the banner. He
Bingo.
isn't going to stop. Hey, number three,
yeah,
you're violating three. Come on, Rhett. You Bigfoot,
Hey,
you
show your plaque.
out of normal you. All right, here we go. Thank you, Rhett. But anyway, just to get back, I'm saying that this isn't over. This is just the beginning. We are in a war on freedom, and I can assure you the mass media, except for this island right here, this island that we call the Spot.
Curtis Carpenter said hello, by the way.
Hey, Curtis. I love Curtis.
But I'm just saying, Joe, I'm not trying to inspire, but just to expatiate, to clarify, to open up to everybody the passion and the content of your message of freedom. That is not being spoken about anywhere but on this show. And every time Rhett pulls that guitar and plays a freedom song, it warms my heart tremendously. Doesn't it, you, Joe?
It does sometimes. But the when you talk about freedom and you talk about things like that, we
Yes.
have this homeschool group
Yeah.
that my wife and I started with kids, teaching them about Republican principles. And what we talk about is the Constitution, and that should be forever your litmus test.
Yeah.
When you make a decision in life, you always refer to the Bill of Rights and you say, okay, wait a minute, is this in violation of the Bill of Rights or not? And if it's not, then you can support it. If it does, then you don't support it.
Correct.
But I wanted to talk about Curtis Carpenter for a minute. So Curtis Carpenter is...
Curtis Carpenter inspired me during this election at the end because of what you played to me. Was
Wow.
it you? Oh, no. Curtis, didn't he? Whose campaign did he run?
Oh, he ran, I want to say Adams, Justices, and...
Somebody against Rodolico? Ehrman.
Erman. Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
So I want to now. I guess it's okay to say this, but he left a private message to Mark Rodolico the night before the election. He says, "Mark, it's hard to go up against a friend, but I look forward to us, not being enemies anymore after the election tomorrow night." But it inspired me so much. I went home, did one of my leather chair, communications there, and my leather chair video, and said to everybody, I think you're all champs just for attempting to do something, because what, 99.9999999% of the people will never run for office.
Right.
So just the fact that you run means you're a patriot
You
for the
bet.
American way, and I salute everybody.
Yeah.
And as I said, we're gonna have more losers than winners, but it was all inspired by Curtis Carpenter.
Absolutely. Well, Curtis had, like many people, he had his own personal journey, and was attacked for it originally.
He was?
Yeah, just originally about joining our party, the Republican Party.
Oh, his own personal journey.
Yeah, and
That's
but
a euphemism.
we all had. I mean, Ronald Reagan had it, and everything else.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm very happy that Curtis is a part of our party, and he is doing a fantastic job. He's very involved, and he worked on campaigns very successfully, did an amazing job. But he's a gentleman of gentlemen. I mean, I got to meet him originally. We went out for coffee and talked, and I just loved him. He's a down-to-earth guy. We saw each other so much on the campaign. He was out there with his candidates, waving signs, helping them out, giving advice. All hours of the night and in the morning, he was always working, an exceptional work ethic.
Wow.
Doing that on top of that, he was doing his full-time job and
Whoa.
being a daddy, taking care of his babies, his boys, and so he's a really good guy, very successful in this community.
Well, Curtis Carpenter, yeah, you're an upstanding guy. I don't know if I know you. It sounds familiar. I bet you I probably know him.
You
But
probably,
anyway,
yeah, you
Curtis,
met
come
him.
on in here, and we'd like to meet you. You can
Yeah.
either come now or come later, but I'd like to meet you because, Ann Conklin says, I voted for Joe Sempervivo.
Oh, thank you,
good.
She's the
man.
British lady in town who's been a realtor for years.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Yes, yeah, I know who Ann is.
8,000 people did.
Yeah.
It's gotta be hard for somebody to go, oh, I lost, and they go, wait a second. Like when Gore lost or something, you go, wait a second, 50% of America voted for you.
Yeah,
And 50% of this community, almost 50%, that
Yes.
all those that voted for you.
yes.
Joe Coakley's been here for 40 years.
Yeah.
You've been hiding in your cave with your 6 kids and your wife, and then flying out and doing your business in New Mexico and around the world, right?
It's Matt.
Well, I mean, I
Curtis
the
Carpenter
good
says,
thing-
thank you very much. Very nice words.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he's beating me up behind the glass there, right? You want to take a break? Murphy's bugging me. Okay, we got the. Hey, I tell you what, Beverly, tell him we'll be right back.
Oh, we'll be right back.
All right, we got to take a break, folks. We'll be right back. All right. So anyway.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like Curtis a lot.
I tell you one thing, you really do give the right amount of due to the people who have helped out there. You do
Yeah, but
praise
that's
them.
nice that you do that.
You praise them and all.
You know, the
it's- it's
recognition.
Remember, you're
amazing.
still on too, just so you know.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I'm just saying, because
Well, yeah.
a
but
lot of
it's nice.
candidates don't do that. They just take it for granted. They-
Yeah.
Scott Barron
like-
says I
like-
voted
like-
for Joe.
Yeah,
Scott Barron.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it, buddy.
And he's his father you need to meet. His father's Bob Barron, studied with who's the guy, Saturday Night Post, the covers, Norman Rockwell.
Oh, wow.
I knew him. Listen to him. You want a portrait of your family and your mom and dad?
Oh, yeah, I spoke
This
to
guy is the creme de la creme. He has over it's like thousands of Catholic Christmas cards. You see them? They were done by him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he gets 2,500 per card,
Yeah.
well,
and
he
he
should.
lives very well up on the beach here. But
Good for him,
amazing,
God bless him.
amazing man. We
30
talked about
seconds.
that. He's a good friend.
Wow.
He's a good
That's fast.
friend. Yeah. So anyway, if you want to get in touch with Bob Barron, that's
And that's Scott Barron, right?
yeah.
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate your vote.
I don't know if Scott's on Facebook because he just texted us. I think he's listening on air.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to know where people are tuning in, so he might not hear us on break. Thank him when we get back. If you could, just say,
Yeah,
I just want to say hi to Scott Barron, and also who else just said they voted for you?
Here we go,
And-
Red.
Conklin.
Yep, and copy. All right, Murphy's giving me the finger. We're up.
That didn't sound good.
That does not sound good.
But on video, they can see what I meant.
I'm sure my 6 kids are asking mommy right now. What does that mean? Giving the
It's giving the thumbs up, man.
Yeah,
Thumbs
yeah,
up. We're
thumbs
back
up.
on the air live.
Thumbs up.
So Ann Conklin says she voted for you, and she also says it takes a lot of courage to run for any public office. Listening on the radio, of course, we have Mr. Scott Barron. He's just texted us that he voted for you. So remember, though you lost, you big loser, you.
Now, see, I can't stand that. Yeah, you rub wrong. You rub wrong.
But the point is, he got out of 16,000 votes or 17,000 votes, you got 8. The other guy got 9.
Yeah.
That's awful good.
Well,
First
first
time
of all,
out of the.
Ann Conklin, thank you so much for being
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
8,000. And Scott, thank you so much for your vote as well. And we really appreciate that. But we had a good time. I mean, Beverly came to our party, right?
Yeah.
I invited
She, wait,
counselors.
wait,
I
what else
couldn't
did
be
you?
there.
Hold on,
I tried.
she changed. no,
Party. That's what I was going to say.
Why did you change parties, Beverly?
Well, I wanted to vote for Joseph.
You
That was
bet.
very important. to
Yeah.
Thank
me.
you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
But she was independent. She switched. And, I said at the party, please stay Republican,
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing,
things are
Joe.
gonna come our way, guys.
You made 8,000 friends.
Oh, yeah.
For
Yeah.
everybody that met you
Yeah.
and heard what you had to say, they decided to vote for you because
Yes.
they thought you were on the right path.
Well,
Tiffany Justice just checked in. She says Joe was very sweet at early voting. He brought food for all of the candidates and
Yeah.
volunteers.
Aw.
It's always about the food with Joseph.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That was a
Tiffany's
wonderful
Hey,
out there
let's
every
have another loser party. I like that stuff, man. We lose so we can gain.
Yeah. I called Tiffany on, I want to say it was election night. She was probably in bed because she has to, she always chasing after the 4 kids, which, oh my God, they're adorable. Her daughter was out there campaigning.
Well, I'm a
Yeah.
mama's boy, so she's a first of all, she's very sweet.
Yeah,
She sat in here and I castigated Mr. Who was the guy that was running against her, who I did not vote for. I voted for.
Oh, John Kim.
John Kim, because he said, unlike you, I have a real job.
Yeah.
Now, she,
That was his-
being very gracious and noble,
oh, boy.
let me tell you something. So she says, well, he's young. Imagine that. She said, he's young. She gave him a pass on that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
Yeah,
you
She's
lost.
gracious,
And that's
man.
what, that's
That's why he
She's the
lost.
greatest.
That
Are
is
you
great.
kidding?
Tiffany, I tell you what,
You bet.
you know, I tell you what, I'm
She's
very
Tiffany-
impressed. Very
Tiffany has a lot of class.
Yeah, she does.
She
And she
brings
just-
class to the school board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she will.
You better, Tiffany.
She will.
Did you get
What do
my,
you
did you
mean?
get my
She
text,
is.
Tiffany, what I said? I told her, she better hold in the standards here and represent all the people.
No, I think she'll hit the ground running. I think
Yes.
she'll sprint, and so will Laura Zork, because
Oh, yeah.
their parents, and I'm not demeaning John Kim at all. I think he would have been a fantastic person on the school board as well.
Yes.
But I mean, all the candidates. I mean, literally the whole slate of candidates in every field. They all were qualified.
Okay,
and
let's,
great.
Outstanding.
the big loss though, is we all expected, no doubt, we all expected Wesley
I did.
to beat over. No, Mr. Nolte's done a
No.
great job. He's been here for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
You
the
know,
reason
There was nothing
why.
wrong with Nolte
but
at all.
No, but wait. Were you over there that day though that he spoke?
Yeah, I
The
did at the
debate.
Taxpayers
And Mr.
Association.
Nolte, of course, what's his name shows up, Davis, Wesley Davis shows up, a shirt and tie looking, and I can't believe Nolte, he's got a white shirt, it's not tucked in. He has like an unbuttoned down to the middle of his chest, which women generally don't like when what are you trying to be an Adonis when you're an old guy, it doesn't work,
What are you talking about?
Well, he did not look coiffed.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Well, wait a minute.
You were
Back
not
then,
even
didn't he?
there.
No, what Rex?
Yes, he did.
What Rex?
Come on.
Are you his attorney?
Well, I'm telling you that everybody walks their own walk.
Right.
And just
I
because
agree
you
with that.
come in Rolls Royce clothes and diamond shoes, go ahead. But
Hey, look,
he
you're the-
won.
Look at me. I'm not properly coiffed today. Look how I look.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. You've
You
had
got
14 people walk by here and wave at you already through that so-called OPEC window you got. That was how they see you, other than the shine and the brightness of you.
Okay, Ann Conklin says she voted and has a love for Wesley Davis. Tiffany
You
Justice
bet.
says, yes, I will, Rhett, as far as representing all the
You
people.
bet
She also
she
says
will.
Joe is, oh, yeah. So,
You bet she will. She's the
I
greatest.
thought she said she voted for him too, but I didn't see that. Hold on. What's that? You have an Irish moment. Okay. Murphy wants to have an Irish moment. Even though he gave me the finger, we'll let him go for it. Go ahead. Joe did 3 things because they can't hear you on Facebook. Number one, made me aware of a guy that's pretty politically savvy. Number 2, involved the American youth. Yeah.
Right.
And number 3, you ran a totally and utterly positive campaign.
Yes.
Focused on the issues that stayed out of the personality
Correct.
Joe, my hat's off to you. You didn't lose. It's just.
Well, then play some applause,
Thank
Murphy.
you, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
So,
That's
That's not applause. So play the applause, Murphy.
I think Sean brings up a really great point. What Sean was saying, Beverly, was that one of the things that we did is we had the youth and millennials involved in our campaign without having to bend their arms. We didn't have to pay them. We didn't have to do anything other than inspire and motivate them and let them know this is part of their civic duty. And they volunteered constantly. I mean, we had, Zach, he wants to be a law enforcement officer. We introduced him to Sheriff Lohr. Zach came to our
Zach, whose father is the gemologist in town, gem cutter, jeweler.
No.
What's Zach's last name?
I'm not going to say it on air.
Yeah, that's not
But,
necessary.
But he showed up every day, and he said, I asked him one day, we were waving signs on 60 and 58th, what do you want to do with your life? And he said, I want to be a law enforcement officer. I said, do you mind if I introduce you to the sheriff? And he said, oh my God, that'd be great. Well, every day he was campaigning. So I said, we're going to meet the sheriff. He'll show up. Trust me. He'll show up and wave signs out of respect for the voters. That's what the sheriff does. So the sheriff, sure enough, showed up as always, waving signs at the library, which was early voting polling place. I introduced him because you know what? You come over. We're going to put you in the ride-along program. We'll give you advice and we'll get you started in law enforcement.
Oh,
What?
Yeah. So
You gotta be kidding.
no. And so
Sheriff
it was
Lohr did
people
that.
like that. Yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So it was people like that, that volunteered and gave their heart and soul to the campaign that makes it all worthwhile.
Well, actually, we need these young people to get involved in politics.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Without these young people, the Republican Party, even the Democratic Party, will die.
It's
So
true.
they have to get involved
It-
to keep America strong.
It may
And
be, Yes.
we need these people.
Larry.
And one thing Trump said last night that touched me was the fact that he said, we want people to come to this country legally, but when we really check them out, we want to know if they love America.
Yeah.
And if they don't love America,
well, how about that
Then they
creep that
shouldn't
wouldn't
come
stand
here.
up for the
oh
the
my,
football
what a
game.
disgrace. I mean,
You mean
that's
Kaepernick?
if
Kaepernick?
it was me,
break his neck?
No.
no, boycott the games, let him sit him out. Don't let him play.
It was-
He's got
it was-
$12 million.
Yes, but it's wrong.
Oh,
He
gentlemen.
was
Hey,
wrong.
I gotta say,
It's wrong.
I gotta say goodbye, kids. We're gonna come back on the other side of the news.
Bye, kids.
Okay. So,
Listen to me. I want to tell you, one of my Jedi is out there. We'll be back learning more about the Force. The Force be with you.
okay, so this is the Mayor of the Airways. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai. Also today's broadcast brought to you by Center for Advanced Eye Care. And finally, Dr. Tim Ioannidis, Chester Coast Dermatology. You get a full body scan every year because you could die from skin cancer. Tell them we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
So aren't you pleased with people that are listening or watching?
Seriously.
That's wonderful.
We'll see how
Yeah. They should have a.
Perfect.
48 people
We
Wow.
have,
on Facebook.
That's good.
Really?
In addition to,
We-
on radio,
we
obviously.
used to have this much readership patronage on the blog. We have this much now
It's growing. It's good.
because of, I don't know, every time I put
I hear the voice
your
of
name in
Dave
there
Wolf.
somewhere, the readership goes,
Well, that's good news.
I mean, you are really newsworthy.
We belong
You know,
to
he's
a
a-
mutual admiration
you-
society.
Yes, Helen, you're right.
If you check his background, he's won a tremendous amount of awards.
Who?
For business. Joe.
Well, yeah, but
It's amazing.
like
I mean,
I,
could you imagine at his age being the best executive in his field,
No, in all of the United States.
all of the United States? The best executive with Donald Trump, a little boy from here, amazing.
no, I'm not amazed. But I'm telling you, what I'm thinking about, Joseph, is right now we're in sort of like the foam. And it's foaming towards the beach, foaming towards the beach, foaming towards the beach. But eventually he gets to shore and it sort of recedes back out, recedes back out, recedes back out. What I'm saying is that maybe perhaps instead of you letting it go to the shore, and then sort of slip back out this way, that you continue on this crusade. By the way, clever on the bell. That was neat. Because the bell means that's only first round.
Right.
Yeah.
Red doesn't get my support.
No. Let me tell you something. I caught it,
All right.
and so did Joe,
Yeah.
but it went right over Muffy's
know.
head there.
I know. He's too busy, being Rhett, doing Rhett's thing.
Okay, but I'm just telling you, nice touch.
Rhett fills the room, that's for sure.
I love that.
Hey, fills. No, go ahead, John.
Thank you for those kind words. That was really nice.
Oh, they're not kind of words. They're the truth.
Yeah, I really appreciate
If I
that.
didn't like it, I'd say that too, Joe. But I did, and I didn't know what committee man did or
Yeah.
was, or I'm not a stupidio, And the voter turnout was fine.
Well, it's just, it was, at 30,000 total people though. We were expecting anything above 2,000 total in our race. We do really well at the polls. From day one, I gave him 1,500 votes as his voter base. He gave up everything we do. And we had to erode those 1,500 votes. Yeah. He's been writing for us.
Two minutes. Beverly, the water's here, and we're 2 minutes out, Red.
It's 2:30 in the morning. Someone is trying to break
You're gonna have to break your layer right here, something like that. It's right back here. Thank you, guys.
It's the CJ Cannons, the warm and friendly restaurant at the Vero Beach Regional Airport, where the only thing they overlook is the runway. You are their prime concern at this great restaurant, serving you from morning to night. That's
1 minute.
expanded bar restaurants in the morning to prime rib at night, with hamburgers, patty melts, and a host of the lunches served in an absolutely CJ
Come on, guys.
Cannons.
How you doing,
Hey,
sir?
How are ya? I ran into you over a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
About water. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, hanging in there.
Yeah, just tell me where you want.
Come back in 10 seconds.
Yeah, let's have you stand right there. You don't mind standing, do you?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Actually, me go to stand. You can stand
Here, you sit right here, Tompkins.
No, I stand. I'm
No?
good.
Go.
You can sit right there and have yourself all sorts of fun time with
All right.
old Rhett
John,
back
get ready. Now
there.
you gotta share and come up close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, get right on it.
You gotta eat the mic, John. Eat the mic.
Here's the future.
Roman, get over here. You want to come share this with me?
You can share mine.
You can share mine, whichever
Don't be
one.
with them.
Okay.
Brett, that's the future right there.
And he's Republican,
Well, right.
conservative.
God bless you.
All right, the future has just walked into the room. He interned for us, I don't know, 2 or 3 summers. He's in his second year of college. He's been writing for Vero's Voice magazine since he was 14. How old are you now, 19?
20.
You're 20. Happy birthday to you.
A couple months late.
Yeah, a couple months later. John Tompkins, let's have a round of
All right,
applause,
John.
please, for our friend John Tompkins.
All right, John.
Go, John, go.
You bet, John.
So you said even though you are a conservative Republican, you recently were down to visit with Mr. Senator Nelson.
Yeah, so
Hold on, before you tell that story, I
Uh-huh.
just want to introduce Mr. Fromang is in here, Attorney Fromang. Good morning,
Good
Attorney Fromang.
morning, folks.
And we also have Larry Sempravivo,
Good morning, folks.
and he is the chief guy at Joseph's Cookies, and his son, the famous Joseph Cookie, Joseph Cookie Kid.
I'm not the chief guy. I'm retired.
Yeah,
Joseph is the chief cook,
thank you, Larry.
bottle washer, everything else.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Larry.
I'm pretty bad at those jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, you could at least bring in a package of cookies, you know? Every time I go to the dollar store, I buy Joseph's Light Cookies. So by the way, we can start running his ad again. I buy Joseph's Light
You
Cookies there.
could have ran him the whole time, but there was no violation of 315. But
But anyway, okay, now back to our special.
Yes,
talk
John,
about
yes,
Talk about
John.
The
baby.
future.
John.
Hi, John.
John is in the NFL.
Listen to that voice. Listen to that voice.
Yeah, because John is the 1% that makes to play pro sports. John is that 1% as a conservative reporter that has survived the indoctrination process and is now out there representing the facts and the truth when he reports.
I hope.
Well, you are. You are.
Now, you're going to what school?
Washington and Lee,
And you're
Yeah.
studying?
politics and journalism.
So he has the voice. I mean,
He
I gotta be
does.
honest with you now, listen, we all know Dave Walsh. Now,
Yeah.
Dave Walsh is my very good friend. And when he came in this one, I said, oh, remember what I said during commercial break, when news break, I said, oh, I gotta leave the studio. Dave Walsh is here.
Yep.
I walked out. It wasn't Dave Walsh. It was him. Listen to that voice.
The
Keep
deep
talking.
voice.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to say, you're tuned into the mayor of the airwaves.
You've tuned into the mayor of the airways.
No, you got to put a little punch behind it.
You tuned into the mayor of the airways.
Put some
Hey.
bubble behind it.
Hey.
Bubble. Get some bubble in here. Bubble.
And I think we got to set you up with an official microphone so you catch those vibes and you can call in
Yeah.
on different things.
Yeah.
What I want to hear. Okay, so tell us what you were talking about in the green room
Yeah, Bill Nelson.
with what you did with Bill. Now, who you were working for, what you did.
So this summer I worked up in Washington, D.C. for McClatchy, and they own a chain of newspapers across the country. They own the Miami Herald, Charlotte Observer, Fort Star Telegram, a couple big ones.
This sounds even more impressive than being with the mayor, I'll tell you.
No, it's not.
Never,
No.
never.
No, you outshine everything, Brad.
That's a joke, folks.
So
That's
so they sent me
terrific.
to the White House. Yeah, it was great. I went to a couple
White
of press
House?
briefings. Yeah, I went to a
No.
couple events.
Let him finish.
I'm excited.
I'm at the edge of my
He
chair.
was in the
Oh,
audience.
Yeah, no, I was right there, and I went to the Capitol quite a bit and worked out of our office up in the press gallery, and ran into Bill Nelson a couple times, and he's the nicest guy. I mean, he's a really nice guy. So I was happy, and I interviewed Patty Murray, caught her in an elevator, and it was great. I was at another event and talked to Raul Labrador, who's the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus with the Tea Party Republicans, and I told him how she kind of gave me the cold shoulder in the elevator, and he said, well, she can't do that because she only comes up to your chest. But
Right.
Cold
she's
shoulder,
like 4 foot
only 'cause of
11.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, you got to stop
oh,
with Patty Murray. Stop. Stop. You're plowing the heifer. Stop.
So John Tompkins, you've been writing for Vero's Voice magazine since you were 14.
15
Now,
years old.
15.
Mhm.
You now are 20 years of age. You're in your second year at
Washington and Lee.
And
Yeah.
so what do you think you want to do with your life? I mean, you do have a broadcaster's voice. You are studying journalism.
Yeah. We'll see. I did PR this spring. I studied abroad in South Africa and worked for a
Holy smokes.
nonprofit company and did PR, and I love that. It's kind of cool to get away from just regular journalism where you can control the message and tell people what to say, where to stand, that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. So.
And you're planning on going abroad again, right?
Yeah, I might go abroad this winter. I was telling Joe that I'm hoping to go to maybe Rome, but we will see.
Now, how do you pick that? Oh, sorry, Steve.
No, I was just going to say you were in South Africa.
Yeah.
Did you happen to run into the South African sign language guy?
No, who's a?
Oh, all right. Okay, well, there was a South African sign language guy that didn't know anything about sign language and just got up there as
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that for Obama or who was it?
Well, I don't know who it was, but he was an
And he got up
incredible
on
sign
stage.
language guy.
He just got up making it up.
Yes, of course he did. And I was asking John Tompkins, had you met him?
No, that's a silly question.
So you're possibly maybe going to Rome?
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
How do you select that? Does Washington and Lee tell you where you're going?
So they have like approved programs or schools that you're not going to some really shady school where the credits won't transfer. So you can say I want to do this program and they'll say if it's approved or not. But in this one, I had a friend who I wasn't even planning on going abroad this year, and I had a friend who said, "Well, I'm trying to do this program, and they have majors for communications and politics. So you should take a look at it." And so that's what I'm doing right now. I just heard about it a couple of weeks ago. So
Nice.
time to apply is like right when I get back to school. In
Now,
September.
do you pay for
We'll
your
see.
own transportation and everything yourself?
So you pay for that, but the cost of tuition transfers directly, and it's actually a little bit cheaper than my school here in the U.S. So it's kind of nice, and they'll do grant money as well. So you can get most of all of it. paid
Which
for.
school would you be going to in Rome?
I think it's a John Cabot University.
Okay.
So it's like an international.
So you'll go to Cabot. You'll go to Cabot, and then they provide you a place to live.
Yeah,
a
it's the
stipend.
same kind of thing. They transfer all the housing, that kind of thing.
So who comes up with this money to pay for these trips? Your parents?
Well, the school, the tuition and stuff is already paid for school, so
I'm talking about flying to Rome, though.
then we got to pick up.
Of course, when you're your age, and when I was your age and I flew around, I could go coach because I was skinny and everything. When you get older, you fly coach now, right?
Yeah.
You fly first class. We got to talk.
Because you're gonna get a chaperone.
Yeah,
I
you
figure
just
your
talked
mama,
to your
your
chaperone.
mama and dad can approve of having the mail with you.
Brett's gonna be next to Party Italiano. You go
Got you.
down,
Do you have student housing there? Or you have to get your own place? Student housing, or you get your own place?
I'm pretty sure it's student housing. I'm just starting to look into it and kind of finalize it all as I'm going back. So, but I'm pretty sure it's student housing.
So
You might want to check AirNib and a couple of those where you go on computer and look around, because there are a huge number of apartments that come available.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so-
Particularly around that area.
John, now do you are you gonna be learning Italian? Would you be going through a program?
So that's one of the prerequisites, I guess, that if you go abroad in a certain country, our school makes you take the language either before or while you're there. So I'll be taking it.
Yeah, but
If I
it's
go, I'll
fun
be
to
taking
learn another
Italian.
language.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's a
Yeah.
blast.
Especially when you're there.
Yeah.
Now,
Scusi, hey, signor.
so tell us your goal. So now let's fast forward two and a half years.
Yeah, put the,
You're out of Washington and Lee. You're an alum now.
Pronto.
Andiamo. So where do you where is your ideal job?
your vision.
Yes.
It's tough. I loved what I did this summer. I love getting to meet, all these congressmen and stuff, and I liked that just straight journalism, political reporting aspect. But I also really, really liked PR. So for the next summer, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to do more of like what I did this summer, which is more straight journalism, or try to get a PR internship. And I think I'll know a lot more.
What's the
from
pay
there.
differential? Like if you went media and you went as a reporter, because there's a question I have about investigative reporting, how it's dead. But how do you, from a pay standpoint, because you have to justify
Right,
your
and that's
tuition
one of the,
that you just,
things. And so, and I'm, I haven't haven't looked into exactly. I mean, and I think it depends from job to job and what your experience is. You know, if you're a big time reporter and you've been at it for a long time, you're obviously going to get paid, you know, more. But I'm pretty, from what I've seen, I'm pretty confident that if you go into, you know, a PR agency and you're working somewhere in Manhattan or in DC, you know, if you're doing crisis communications, if you're a fixer or something like that, which I really like, you're probably going to end up making more.
Wait,
than just,
explain to everybody a fixer. Explain to everybody.
So a fixer is like if you watch Scandal, the TV show on ABC, somebody who, you know, they're sort of in between a lawyer and a PR manager, where if you have a problem and you have, you know, you're a big name person, you're a senator, congressman, whatever, you can go to them and they will do their best to make your problems go away.
Right.
Yeah.
They're behind the scenes, so they're not publicly known.
No, they're pretty behind.
Right. So ideally, you like to be a fixer, if you know that.
I would love that. Yeah. So, and I worked right off of K Street in DC. I worked on Connecticut and K, so that was like right.
That's in the heart of DC.
Right by 3 blocks from the White House.
Have you been to the Republican restaurant there?
Which one is that?
I always forget it. Not the elephant. What's the name of it?
Zebert's up there.
I can't remember the name of it. It's like all the Republicans go there.
Yes.
It's a 2-story restaurant.
Oh,
you go
really?
in.
No.
Yeah, they're real snooty too, by the way.
Yeah, it's a higher end restaurant.
Yeah, you bet.
You go in there and literally I was there. Newt Gingrich walked in. Bob Dole walked in.
Yeah.
I mean, all the senators, congressmen, they all bring their friends there, and they have a little bar. And years ago, they used to allow cigar smoking. I don't think they do it anymore because I think DC stopped it.
PC, politically correct.
I have a question. Now, right now, the media, unfortunately, seems to be biased. And when I was younger, every station had a different pitch on different things.
Right.
Today, everybody says the same thing.
Same byline.
It's the same thing over and over again. The message is the same. Like there's nothing out there that's different. And do they teach you to be a puppet in school, or do you actually can say what the truth is? And we don't seem to be getting the truth anymore from the media.
Right. Well, from my experience this summer, and I worked for 10 weeks, and I felt like I was right in it. And that's why I loved working for McClatchy, is that they didn't, you know, sit the interns in some corner of the office. We were right there. We had our own desk with everyone else, and they really every single week gave us the freedom to cover what we wanted, report on what we wanted, and say what we wanted, as long as it was, you know, obviously truthful. So I could go to the committee hearings I wanted. I could do basically what I wanted as long as it was true.
John, tell them we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
We are going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai. No, you're supposed to say that.
Okay. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai.
And Dr. Tim.
Tommy,
Dr. Tim Ioannidis.
And Dr. Jonathan Sanders.
No, Dr. Tim Ioannidis.
No, Dr. Tim Ioannidis.
Treasure Coast Dermatology.
Treasure Coast Dermatology.
That's amazing you remember Sanders. No, they split. They went their own.
Oh, really?
Friends,
I used to hear
on
NPR every morning.
Yeah. We got to take a little break. We'll be back.
All right.
Yeah, I want to talk about. I'd like to hear more about that. Your experience and how they let you do it. Did you have to go to the editor and stuff like that to be approved?
I had an editor, and everything I, wrote went through usually my main editor. She was always someone else.
Are you guys gonna have are you doing guys this stuff that should be on the air?
Yeah.
Okay, then please wait.
Yeah, we'll wait.
I'd really rather you didn't talk, didn't ask questions, didn't even tell stories, because then you'll look, we'll get to the.
You like it fresh.
Well, yeah, but it's otherwise you look at me like frogs in a rainstorm when we get back.
I don't know. You've never been a frog. Here's the deal. I'm going to.
How's Barbara doing?
Okay.
Well,
I get frustrated with listening to the news.
Yeah.
Save it, Dad. Save it. You got to come out with that energy.
Screaming it into the mic.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, Rat, how's Barbara doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, she'll be happy to see you.
Yeah.
How long are you in town then for?
Just until Sunday. It's a quick trip.
We're flying up. We're taking the lead. We're flying up to Maine.
Oh, yeah,
Directly
she
from
said that. She
Syracuse.
told me that. Yeah. Have you had anybody who's tried that? You know anybody who's Airways tried that Elite Airways? Have you guys-
30 seconds, Red.
Wow. That was fast.
Hey.
Here we go, Red.
See, this looks to be deep. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? I'm doing an ancient song here called Tuning.
There's a lot of.
We're back on. We're on live.
Oh.
Mr. Froman has just entered the room.
Yes.
Lawrence Sempervivo is here. How you doing, Larry?
Good morning, good morning.
Mr. John Tompkins,
morning.
20 years of age, has been writing for Vero's Voice magazine since he was 15 years of age. Very good writer, studying journalism. And what else?
Washington and Lee, yeah, and politics too. Yeah.
Washington Lee. That's up, where's that located?
Lexington, Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley. Great area.
Oh, I love that area.
Yeah.
Shannon, are you near the what's that Bridgeway?
Blue Ridge
Park?
Highway? Yeah, Blue Ridge Parkway Highway.
Okay, so we're coming, we're driving up there on a little holiday. We'd like to stop in and maybe see you.
Sure.
You have to give us a tour of the
Great
campus.
town, yeah.
Maybe you're thinking, oh God, I hope he doesn't show up.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Listen, I love college towns. My favorite thing in
Yes.
the world is to show up and go into the coffee houses, sit there reading a book or just, having a cup of coffee and just feeling the energy. I totally and absolutely believe, if there was anything else if somebody came along right now, I was an adjunct professor at the College of St. Rose. And I'm sorry, I don't have the education for it, but if somebody would come along and say, we want you to be a professor, I might give up my show for that, only because when you get around these young people, it's like out here at Dodgertown. When Dodgertown was here, do you remember going up there? When the fresh cut grass, there's a fragrance of dreams in the air. And I believe, what's that jump they say, the quantum leap? Don't you think who you hang with and who you're with affects you?
You know what? If you hang with young people and positive people,
Yeah.
you feel young
Yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
and you drain
Yes.
some of their energy
Yes, you
into
do.
you.
Yes.
And this is the reason why I have a rule. I like to surround myself with positive people.
Yeah.
I don't like downers
Yeah.
because they bring me down.
Yeah.
But as long as I have people around me who are positive and it breeds success. And I think that's really important in life.
Yeah. So, John, what did you think about Trump going down to Mexico yesterday?
That was wild. I can't imagine Clinton doing that.
Why?
It's typical.
Because she doesn't have it in her.
Well,
He's
I
a leader.
think,
What a great, that just was
Brilliant.
I said this to my friend the other day when we were having dinner, was that I would pay like pay-per-view price to see Hillary Clinton go down to Mexico City and try to speak Spanish at a podium with the president of Mexico.
Yeah.
She couldn't do it. She would come across as like completely out of touch. So only he could do that. Only he could just say, I'm going to fly down there for 4 hours and talk.
Understand, we can see what a man, I have liberal friends on Facebook say, well, you can see what somebody's done, that's what they're going to do. Well, if you watch what Trump has done, he may have, he said some idiotic stuff, but guess what? It got him the #1 press. You know what he knows today? Fame is votes.
Yes.
And you know what? Maybe I'll be shocked. Maybe he will win in November.
He is.
But I will tell you this, once he gets in, he will put brilliant people around him. He knows how to delegate. Look what he's done. And don't give me this going bankrupt crap. Disney went bankrupt 4 times. I'm sitting right across from a man who went bankrupt. Larry, did you go bankrupt?
Absolutely.
At 50 years of age.
Right.
Okay. And since then, what? You're doing okay. You're driving a Bentley and a Rolls Royce.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
I'm out of here. Hey, sit down.
But you know what, though? He brought attention to the problems we have in America.
Yeah.
No politician did that. We do have tremendous amount of problems, and nobody addresses them, and we have not fixed them. For the last 30 years, we haven't fixed anything. We used to have things in place that immigrants would come into this country, we checked them out, and they were not a burden on the country.
Or a
They were
danger.
productive.
Or a danger.
Or a danger.
Or a danger.
Today, We have no control over our borders.
Okay, let's see what John has to say. We got young boys in here. Let's, inspired by what Larry just said, what do you think?
About Trump.
About anything he said, about anything I
Well,
said? We just want to hear your voice.
Young people from my experience, and I go, so my college, this is interesting. My college is like 60 to 70% Republican. We're a really conservative university. So, that being said, that there were not a lot of people that were happy when Trump won the primary, and we have this thing that we do every 4 years when there's a presidential race called mock convention, where we pick the presidential nominee of the party that's not in the White House. So this year was the Republicans, and so we predicted the first week of February that Donald Trump was going to win after only 2 primaries, and we got the delegate count almost exact. So I was the Florida chair, and we did a lot of work. We worked for probably about a year and a half on this, and people were not happy. Kids were not happy, and people my age, even Republicans, I've met very few of them who really like him. And it's sort of kind of what we're fed to a lot by our professors who, they'll say, especially if you're in an econ class or something like that, where you'll get questions, or when we have commentary and stuff like that, it's really kind of skewed toward the fact that he's kind of crazy and what he's saying is crazy. And then if you like him and you agree with him, you're kind of out there and you're not as intelligent. And kids buy into that. And I can tell you, there's very, very few kids that I've met, even at a school as Republican as that I go to, as like him. And I've met quite a few people that are saying that they're going to vote for Clinton over him. So it's tough. Yeah.
I mean, conservative kids?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Republicans who are saying that because they think that she's the only viable option, that he is too out there, that he just doesn't have the experience and the leadership needed to run the country, that he doesn't know what he's doing.
But do they even check her past what she has done?
And they are willing to. Their thing is, and I've heard this from a couple people, and it's really interesting to hear from people my age that are Republicans and
whatever else.
What I'm hearing is that
Close the damn door. I don't want anybody.
Even though she's kind of been caught in lies, that there might be this pay-to-play thing with the Clinton Foundation, that kind of thing, those scandals, at least she would know how to run the country, and we wouldn't.
Well, I mean, her objective is really is to have no borders, bring all of the terrorists she can gather up into America, and put us at jeopardy, and turn our country into a socialist country. And those same kids don't realize, with 47 or 49% on people on handouts, when they get good jobs and everything, that means most of their salary will go for the illegals and everything in this country, supporting them. And they will not have a quality of life. She is going to rob their life, so they can't have a good life.
Larry.
And they're not looking ahead.
Larry, this is the point that I think John is trying to make. The professors at these universities teach socialism. They teach collectivism, not the individual. Now, John stands in there and listens to these economic professors.
I'm sorry,
say,
Mr. Froman, we got to take a break. We're going into the news. It's automatically going to cut us off.
Whatever.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Jim said the kids.
You didn't let us know.
The kids are so smart.
You didn't let us know. It's time for a break.
They're making a dumb decision.
No, because National was supposed to come in at 9:31 and did not.
You want to be
right.
But if somebody says,
so we could have stayed on the air.
I'm going to have to take.
Yeah, but they changed it again.
3/4 of your salary, so I can.
Sorry
pay
about that.
People who don't want to work.
Anyway.
By the way, people listening on Facebook, I'm going to switch over now to the Rhett Palmer Mayor of the Airways and go live over that account. Okay. So we got to move it around.
Isn't that something how he knows this stuff?
Yeah.
So we'll be back.
He's a navigator. God love him. Amongst the stars.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, and that's what we talk about that when we get back from the break. That there's.
We had 44 people just now listening.
That's good. That's good. We're.
How come it doesn't show at the top that there's 44? It says like there's 5, and there's 6, and there's 9.
Anyway, John.
I'm a businessman and I think dollar and cents.
Yeah.
And I'm saying they're not thinking long term.
Yeah.
Short term, they're thinking. Yeah, we don't like him, but he's becoming up more stately right now, and he's more sensible.
And that definitely helps because I
Yeah,
mean, when I
Because
left,
believe it or not, and I told this to Joseph today in the car, your generation will pick the next president.
and I wrote an
And that's a
article
fact.
about that a couple
Well,
months ago.
this is how I
Millennial
feel.
votes.
Well,
These
But-
young college kids
Yeah.
will either elect Hillary or elect Donald Trump.
Yeah.
This election is actually in their hands.
Yeah.
And people don't realize
Yeah.
that.
That's
That's
why,
how
that's
important
why,
you guys
that's
are.
why
This year
I'm
we
on this
became like
radio.
the biggest voting bloc.
You are the
It's-
biggest voting
it's-
bloc, absolutely. And the average American don't know that.
No.
Now, when she swings the minority vote and she swings the college kids,
Mhm.
she has the election and our country gets smeared. Because the kids aren't thinking, the Supreme Court judges that she appoints will go along, they will not prosecute criminals will keep getting away with murder. And she's a criminal. And she lied to everybody and nothing's being done. So they're saying, okay, we have two kinds of justice. There's the justice that she gets is none. And the poor guy, like the sailor who took a picture 9 years ago.
Or General
of-
Petraeus, huh?
Yeah, he took a picture of
He's been on my show.
the controls of the submarine.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was supposed to get 15
Medical.
years in jail. He never showed it to anybody. They didn't give him 15, they gave him 1 year. She did worse and got nothing.
Yeah.
So
Not yet.
how is the justice fair?
What do you call these things? Hold on for a second. What do you call these things on Facebook when we go live? What are they called? Watch our
Podcast?
Something like that.
Um,
Periscoping is like when you're like live. I think that's live tweet or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if it's a podcast.
I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
You guys are geniuses.
I used
with
to,
it.
I had a double major.
Mhm.
History, American history, and economics.
I loved history.
Minored in English. At the University of Maryland. Graduated top of the class, academic All-American, and go on about it.
Mhm.
But I used to stand up in class and orate, discourse,
Yeah.
great words. And I would practice the script, not only what I would say, but how I would maneuver,
Right.
you know, the gestures,
Yeah.
the gesticulation perhaps. And at one point, I was walking into an economics class, and this guy walked up to me who was a JA, and he said, "Are you Steve Froman?" Well, I was a lot bigger back then.
Right.
I played football.
Yeah.
4-year scholarship. Started my sophomore year.
Wow.
Lettered 3 years.
Is it Maryland?
University of Terre. Go Terps.
Hmm.
Anyway, so
We're coming back. When we do, put your mic in place, take over the show, and keep talking. I'm doing something here.
what?
We're gonna come back now.
Oh,
Take
Mike,
over.
radio show. Remember, we're doing a radio
professors,
show.
like you were saying.
So you guys, I'll introduce you.
I think you should continue with the kids.
45 seconds.
Continue it. It's important.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This is the mayor of the airways. We have Mr. John Tompkins. He's been writing for Viral's Voice magazine since he's 15. He's now 20 years of age, attending where?
Washington and Lee.
Washington. And we also have Larry Sempervivo in here. Good morning,
Good
Lawrence.
morning. Good
We gotta have
morning.
lunch again soon.
Yes, we will.
Yes, your turn to buy. Which is
All
something.
right.
I want you to take me somewhere, but I can't remember where it was. I'll think about it. And we have Mr. Fromang. Attorney Fromang is in here today, looking handsome in his crisp white shirt and his blue tie. And you're having a good conversation with Mr. Tompkins.
Yes, we were. We were just discussing the fact that before we went off the air for a moment, was the fact that in the colleges, why are so many young people supporting the idea that you can sit in a circle, everybody sit in a circle and take your hand and stick it in each other's pocket and think you're getting rich? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Only in a free society does it happen. And these professors are teaching these children some screwy things. 2 + 2 = 5. And when I heard that in an economics class many years ago, I stood up and really made a scene about it. And he said, "You must not be a Keynesian economist." I said, "Sir, 2 + 2 will always equal 4, except perhaps in this room. But everywhere else, it operates 2 + 2 = 4. But in these colleges nowadays, they are literally telling the children, water can run uphill. What? Wow, what a concept." And I'm telling you, that's what's going on in these universities. And I go all around, I travel all around. I go and make speeches at universities, and economics professors call me in. And you are absolutely right. 3/4 of the way through my discourse, my oration, I will have people trying to interrupt me, raising their hand, but each time I answer their questions in a way that the professor not only perhaps is neglected, but also has refused to identify his shortcoming, his hole in his boat. 2 + 2, folks, = 4 every time, not 5. Would you agree, John?
Yeah, 100%. And we're lucky because I think at Washington, not only are a majority of the kids Republicans, but the professors, for the vast majority of them, definitely for the most part, are great people who don't try to insert their opinions and try to make their classes biased or try to get kids to think a certain way, the way they think. And I've had, even in my experience, it's been professors who are definitely liberal or definitely Democrats, and that. But from each one of them, at some point, I know that I've heard them say, what I think is not as relevant. You need to have your own opinions, and that there still is valued. So we're really lucky that at Washington that we have great professors. But there is sort of a mindset, as we're talking about with Trump, with kids my age. If you're in college, you want to try to be smart and educated and try to come off as intelligent. Yes. And stuff that we hear, and when you're in a university environment, Donald Trump and a lot of the things that he says and things that he believes, if you really support that, I don't think you're as likely to come out and say, and I've experienced this, I don't know a whole lot of people at school, I can probably count them on one hand, that are really out there for Donald Trump, because I think that there is a huge stigma from professors and classmates alike, yes, where if you are that person, they're going to think that you're not as intelligent, or
they slash your tire. That's also, am I right about that?
That's also, luckily I don't think that we've had any kind of violence like that, but we're definitely somewhere in the middle. When we were at MockCon, we were doing that's what we call mock convention, and we were picking candidates. I think the majority of us were a lot more for Marco Rubio or Jeb Bush or someone like that. That's correct. Where many of us fall. We were, someone on the convention floor, the Vermont chair, stood up and said something about how she liked Bernie Sanders. She got booed. The whole convention booed her. But then when we stood up and we were probably the 10th or so state to go for Donald Trump, people had just stopped clapping across the convention. They were not very happy. So it's sort of an in the middle, and I think it's just because most of the kids are more moderate to conservative Republicans, or more mainstream, I guess, Republicans. But that's a big deal in colleges, where if you stand up and you say I love Donald Trump, I think you're definitely going to get
the pie.
The pie. You get people kind of look down on you. Definitely, I think professors and students alike, whether they definitely admit it in classrooms, there's definitely a mindset where that kid's not as intelligent.
When I was up in Jeb's inauguration, the first inauguration years ago,
wow,
and I was invited to be a member of the press. So they build this big scaffold, and which carries staff. But anyway, so it's almost like a hanging was about to take place, but it's way back behind where the inauguration takes place. So now I walk up the steps, and I have entree because I have a media pass.
Wow.
And I will say this, that every time that a conservative spoke, there literally was bursts of snickering like that.
Right.
And then when a Democrat got up, they were like, yeah. I mean, this was very blatant.
Yes, and it will be that way, Rhett.
Why is the
unfortunately.
press?
Because
The press said
the
that
mass
Reagan was
media.
stupid. The dumb butts.
Yeah, yes. But the mass media, and that's why, John, you are in many ways.
You're our future, baby.
Yes, you have the nerve of the Nemean lion. You
The who?
have the Nemean lion. You know, Hercules had to take out some big nasty lion, and all the lions ran away except this one lion, Nemean lion, who stood forth and fought against Hercules. And I tell you, John, you have the nerve of the Nemean lion, because as you stand forth your own inexorable self and say that's wrong. 2 + 2 = 4.
You know, there's a lot of connection. You know, I was up at JI and I got to see. He just retired.
Jesus, you saw Jesus? J.I.? Come on.
Don't be a smart aleck.
No, I'm not trying to be.
There's a speaker up there, Brett Hume.
Oh, really? He was
Okay, now when he spoke there, this is a couple of years ago. When he spoke there, he did not have one sheet of paper. He did not have any teleprompters, and I thought he was just what do you call it? A talking head for TV, and then most of the stuff was fed to him. This guy's brilliant.
He's smart. I like him a lot.
Okay. What I would suggest to you, if there's any way I can facilitate this, all you have to do, and you're a bright guy, that's why I'm saying this. Use these we have people in this town. You come in here in season. I mean, I got a huge listenership in Collins Island. Let's get you introduced to the people up there. Somebody come forward and say, hey, they'll sponsor you and introduce you to Brett Hume. These people have contacts and lumberjacks.
Brett, may I just interject here?
Yeah.
That Tim Zork's wife is connected to Freedom Works. Are you kidding? That's like a giant pipeline.
Well, they were out there helping Ted Cruz,
You know, I'm saying to you, I'm just injecting.
But this community is connected. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying
that
rule number 3, Rhett.
Hey,
you're stepping
what
all
are you
over
saying,
rule
attorney?
number 3. But
Come on, spit it out.
That's what I like. That's what I like. Stepping all over things like a Bigfoot. But here we go. All I'm saying to you is that there are many, many people around Vero that would treasure helping you.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Particularly Washington Lee, because that is, as you say, a conservative university. And as time goes on, you're going to see a lot of these loudmouths that and I hate to say this, from my alma mater and from places like that, you're going to have a lot of these loudmouths that turn to the people and say, they point to people, unfortunately, like Larry, and say, let's loot his storeroom. Let's grab everything he has.
You're right. And that's why a lot of the professors are all liberal. You know why? Because they get through college by getting what? Grants, and they get
that's not it. It's ideology. It's ideology. It's ideology. It's the ideology. If someone.
You calling them idiots?
I want to ask John a question. John,
Yeah, sure.
what if
As a joke.
Hillary gets elected? How do you see the trend of America going? If you could look into the future, what would you think it would go?
I've been this way for, I think probably since 2008 when Barack Obama got elected. That was, it was really funny because I thought, I was just a little kid and I thought, oh my God, now what's going to happen? We're going to fall off a cliff. It's going to be horrible. And, we're still here and the country's still here. So for a long time now, since I was a little kid, I've been sort of just, I try to keep calm about whatever happens. And the same thing in 2012, where no matter who gets in, we have 2 other branches and the country is going to be here in 4 years. So I don't like, huge alarmists on either side to say the country is going to completely fall off a cliff if either one of them gets in. With Hillary, I think it's what Donald Trump says. It's going to be basically more of what we have now. So what I think worries me the most is that we've spent all this money to try to get out of the recession, and technically we're out, but our growth rate, our GDP growth rate is what, 1.1%, something like that now. So and the same thing kind of happened with FDR. It wasn't, the huge New Deal spending that got us out of the Depression. It was World War II and what came after that. Yeah. So I'm worried that we're going to keep spending all this money. Like she says, she's saying the same thing, shovel-ready infrastructure jobs. We're going to keep spending all this money and we're still going to have a 1% growth rate 4 years down the line.
Well, what do you think about the debt, though? You're going to get out of college.
Yeah.
You're going to have a job. But then you, your children, and your children's children will be in debt
Mhm.
because they keep spending.
Yeah.
Don't you think they should get the budget balanced and
Definitely.
stop spending?
Definitely.
If we don't have money to finance our own country, how can we constantly give it away? I mean, we'll go into a foreign country, we'll build schools, we'll build roads, and yet our bridges are falling down.
Right.
We have potholes,
Right.
and we're not spending any money on our own country.
And
What do you young guys
Well,
think about that?
I don't think that the debt, people my age that are in college, we're more worried about, going out on the weekend and what our next exam is going to be than the national debt and how that's going to impact us in 2050. But, what worries me about that, and I think what should probably, what does and what should worry other people is that when you have a huge debt, of which China owns most, that's not good. When you have a whole country that owns trillions and trillions of dollars, or is owning trillions and trillions of your dollars, and then at some point, if they want a favor or they need something done, they own so much of that debt. So that's, no matter who gets in, I don't see the debt going down. I mean, we haven't paid off the debt since like Andrew Jackson wasn't off, something like that. We haven't paid it off in any meaningful way. So
Well, they did when Gingrich got in there, he balanced the budget.
right.
So we
Well,
can fix this.
Well,
We
yeah.
can, but we don't want to sacrifice.
Right.
We want to keep spending. Just like the Pentagon, they went out and they spent $1 million on
Casino.
strippers and casinos.
Casino,
I mean,
man.
there's another $1 million. It's like
Casino, man.
And
spend.
Yeah, getting to a balanced budget, and that's something that now our deficit's about $500 billion deficit
But
now.
we
So
can
it's
fix
still,
it.
We can. We actually paying down that $19 trillion of debt in a huge way. I don't really see that happening, but getting to a balanced budget, we can. We can do that. And I don't know if that's going to happen with either of them. I definitely don't think
The
it's gonna
mass
happen.
media.
I think Donald Trump will pull it together because he knows the value of a bottom line.
Mhm.
You must show a profit. We run this country in the red, and we cannot do it anymore.
Correct.
When you give a foreign country billions, 400 billion,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
give this billions, and you're saying to ourselves, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help a person on Social Security. We can't give them a 3% raise, but we can give Congress a raise. We can give the firemen retirement of 150,000 a year. We can go on and on and on, but we can't take care of the American people."
Mhm.
When I look at this and I say my father's came to this country at 9 years old, he had a sponsor. He didn't take a dime from the government, not one dime.
Right. But
Now, millions come to this country and they get Social Security,
instantly,
health benefits.
instantly,
And this is what they were saying
right,
last night.
instantly.
How
They get
can
it
you
instantly.
come to this country and get everything free when an American cannot get it? You, as a veteran, you can't go to any hospital you want,
No, you
but an
gotta wait
illegal can walk in a house and get
instantly,
free service.
instantly.
And now they're saying you don't have to show identification
No, no.
to vote.
No.
So you can get all the dead people in the world, all the
Yeah.
illegals
Well,
to vote.
Al Franken, that's how he
That's
won.
what the Democratic Party.
That's how Al
thought.
Franken
Yeah,
won.
that was a shady with Norm Coleman. That was a shady.
Oh, wasn't that
election.
bad?
That was not good.
That was horrible. And you study that, right?
Yeah,
And
he
stuff
won,
like
what,
that.
400 votes?
Yes,
400 votes?
yes. The whole entire graveyard of the Civil War
Oh, you
voted for it.
know, it's a big joke. Just now, just discovered that Obama never even qualified.
Yes, that's what I'm
Never
saying.
qualified because everything was fraudulent and he was buying votes. He didn't even have 5,000 votes on the petition
That's
to
horrible.
run, but nothing was done about it.
Got to take a break, then we're going to come back. Larry Sempervivo is my friend who's in here today. And of course, I'm consistently interrupting my good friend Joseph Sempervivo. Good morning, Joseph. And I'm also interrupting Fromang, the attorney. He deserves to be interrupted.
Yes, of course. Step all over it. Step,
Vengeance on the attorneys!
step.
The one I'm not, hold on, we're still on. The one I'm not interrupting, of course, is Mr. John Tompkins.
Yeah.
If people want to get in touch with you, he's been writing for Vero's Voice magazine since he was 15. He's now 20 years of age, and he'll be going back to school. How do people get in touch with you? Email.
Yeah. My school email is tompkinsj@mail.wlu.edu.
Oh, come on, let's get a simple address.
That's my
I'm
schooling,
radio,
man.
Reddit,
My
AOL.com.
schooling.
Oh, forget about school. Don't you have one that's yours? that you
Yeah,
can
I
do?
have a Gmail. You can do that.
What's yours?
jtompkins1996@gmail.com.
Oh, that's when you were born?
Mm-hmm. Isn't it crazy?
96. Wow. Wait a second, not 1996.
Yeah. 20 years
2006.
old.
96, Bob. Come on.
God. Today's broadcast brought to you by Remax Crown Real Estate, involved in our community. Remax Crown Real Estate. A whole new vision for Remax. I'll tell you what, these are great people. Also, Center for Advanced Eye Care. Center for Advanced Eye Care, 5 eye doctors that genuinely care about your eye care. Dr. Mal, Dr. Snell, Dr. Katz, Dr. Kadadade, and Dr. Brannigan. And finally, Classic Car Wash, US 1 and Miracle Mile Detail. They'll have your old car looking brand new at Classic Car Wash.
You know, I'm 81 years old.
When we come back, Rhett, we'll have about 4 minutes to
I know
fill.
it's food stamps, rationing, and
I have a guest calling in at 10, by the way. I have a guest calling in at
you young
10.
guys that don't know, life lost family members in the war and all.
Right. Yeah.
So we went through all the hard times.
Right.
And I don't think the people today
So
know
you need to straighten out your sister.
much.
No.
And tell them not to listen.
The
What
kids,
they
the kids my age are.
No,
they
tickle
just
fight,
want
tickle
to be
fight.
More
You
compassionate,
ever tell
progressive.
He tries to
Because,
usurp
you know,
my
kids
show.
my age,
Take it over!
there's very few
Now.
before game errors.
So are you, do you want, I don't know. Do you want to run this thing on Thursdays or what?
What are you
So
doing
it's, and
on
they, when they
Sunday?
hear people like our Syrian refugees, they need our help, they have nowhere to go, they're being, they want to say, oh, okay, let's take them to work. When they hear, immigrants from Mexico who, have nowhere to turn, they're ravaged by gang violence, they need to come to the U.S., which isn't really true. They could go to Mexico City, but they'd rather come to the U.S. They say, well, let's take them in. Why should we personally stick? It comes out of a want for people my age to be compassionate. They have
That's because they don't know.
right.
Every action is a reaction. When you take in the more close to it.
Hey, we're back on the studio. Say good morning, John.
Yes. Good morning.
How you doing? Another day in paradise? So
Good morning, Rhett.
You need to come in and do the show when I'm out of town.
Yeah, sure. If I'm
I
in
mean, not
town.
now, you'll be gone now, but I mean,
Right,
when you
right.
come back, how long you been in town now? All summer?
No, so I was in DC and I got back last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Thanks for connecting with us.
Yeah, sure.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
So are you gonna still be writing for Bureau's Voice magazine?
I am.
That's
Have
good.
I'm sending my next article to Barb today, this afternoon.
Great. What's
for
it gonna be on?
October. It is on the comparisons to the 1980 election. How this election isn't like 1980. A lot of people say it is, but it's not. So I
And who was running in
That's a good
1980? Reagan and Carter?
Carter, Reagan, and
Yeah.
John Anderson.
Anderson.
Ah.
Yeah, and the difference is Stephen Froman here. But I just gave
Very
you a
good.
card. I gave you a card there that it's Rhett's card, but it has freeusflorida.com on it. And the reason why I want you to look at that is because in 2009, we started a march to make salt, to dismantle this nanny state cage that you, unfortunately, and we so pleasantly know about. And that is freeusflorida.com's mission statement, liberation over subjugation. But that's our effort. And we're trying to do what you are studying to do, which is very interesting. So I commend you to look at that.
I definitely will check it out.
Yeah, freeusflorida.com.
Yeah.
freeusflorida.com. 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 You have to send you a bill, boy.
No, it's to help him. Because if you were to mention freeusflorida.com in your economics class, within 5 minutes, everybody would dial that up and you would have half the class for you and half the class again you. How's that for a watershed?
Yeah, definitely. I will look that up.
Yes, but yes. What?
Keep talking.
Yes, but I was just going to say, when do you head back?
I head back on Sunday afternoon.
Okay. Might I just say, are you going to be in a political science class anytime soon?
I am. I registered in March,
Okay.
so I have to check which one it is.
Okay, well,
But, I will be.
Some years ago, a gentleman wrote a book and he put it all together called Great Political Thinkers. If you go to the last chapter, they have added one, freeusflorida.com. has been added to the great political thinkers because of our concepts that we are able to not only deal with, but to handle in such a way that children and young adults your age can understand what we're talking about. Freedom is just a concept. Rhett can sing about it.
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to say, and nothing's worth nothing. It's true. Bobby and McGee and me.
See, I've done it. See, so that's the underscore of that. But all I'm saying to you is, John, that in your matriculation, in your endeavors, if you stand up in a group, and say what on your mind and really craft it and script it with some panache, like you see Rhett do. Not only will you learn something, but you will actually gain power in order to present something sometime in the future, because you are in a sea of sharks.
Mr. Fromack.
Yes.
This is the longest question I've ever heard. I understand you like to be heard, but could you please ask John a question and let him talk?
No, I was just saying, when you go back, try.
You remind me of me, Mark.
Thank you, Rhett, for that.
I have a question. Let me talk about me for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Rhett. Yes. But John, to get back, so when do you go back?
So I fly back on Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon.
We have breaking news right here. Explosion rocks SpaceX launch site at Cape Canaveral.
Oh heavens, that's a shame.
Private space industry.
Well, it is private industry, but I will say this: that when you can land a rocket on a square, 100 feet by 100 feet, and they shoot the rocket up 40 miles, and it comes back down and actually lands on that spot, I say my hat's off to them.
Are you aren't degrading private? You're just saying because they're doing a new way to launch and
it's not. I haven't decided whether or not definitely for private industry. I think it's neat to have a huge government space program where you have a space shuttle and something like that. But it takes time when you have a new thing like SpaceX here. They only started in the past, or started becoming our number one way to get up there aside from the Russians a couple of years ago. So it takes time. Yeah, we hope
that's what I figured. That's what I figured you meant, because that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think it's a great thing that they're doing it privately, because if you think about the money that is being saved by the taxpayers, ultimately is a fantastic thing.
Joe, the big prize is tritium.
Oh gosh,
tritium.
Mining.
Yes,
mining.
The big prize is tritium. That's why the boys are shooting the SpaceX. You know that, right, John? That's the reason they're doing it. Because up on the moon is an ocean of tritium. Now, what's tritium? It's the hydrogen molecule with another couple hydrogens stuck around it. And you take this, of course, you got to be careful with it. You take this and put it into a fusion reactor, and you get, with a spoonful of this stuff, you can run New York City for a year.
All right, we're out of time for today. I want to thank Joseph Sempervivo for coming in.
And thank you so much, all your voters out there that supported our campaign.
All right, I want to thank, of course, Attorney Fromack for coming in here.
Yes, Rhett. Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank John Tompkins, who writes for Vero's Voice magazine and is going to school.
Washington and Lee. Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Okay, this is the Mayor of the Airways. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai. You'll get a good deal, but you'll get a great deal of good service after the deal. Complimentary food every day out there. Tommy and his crew will take very good care of you at Route 60 Hyundai. Also, today's broadcast brought to you by Remax Crown Real Estate, a whole new name and a whole new vision for Remax. Remax Crown Real Estate, involved in our community, very much so, under the authority, of course, of Mr. King and Mr. King. Hey, this is the mayor. Who loves you, baby?
Great seeing you, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah,
continue
to breathe. Sorry about that race. I got my balance just about.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it came down. Yeah, it sucks.
Oh,
and Mark the hair guy too.
Yeah,
Steve, I want to ask you something. I got to talk to Stephen for a second, guys. I got to talk to Stephen for a second.
Let me have you.
I know you didn't put any money on the chair today. No. But last week was $250. This week that's $500.
Right.
Cost? That's about right.
It's 300 for the.
Is it really?
It's 300 just to file the damn thing.
It is?
I told you that already.
I don't remember.
No, I don't. Okay. You don't remember that. I don't why you mess with me.
You think we'll actually respill it?
I didn't know that.
It's all your fault. Where's the pork?
It just
See you,
seems
my
like
friend.
it's dead unless it's WikiLeaks or something like that.
Oh, boy, I'm lucky, I got a hug
Will
today.
they be here next Thursday? They'll be here.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be here
Investigative
Thursday.
reporter, she'd been doing it for 15 years and works in Pentagon, that kind of thing. But she even said
Glad
that they
I
don't
met
call it
your wife.
investigative reporting anymore. It's just sort of like
she's-
if she finds a story
Yeah.
and she wants to
She's
look
the
into,
best.
she will. There's not, we didn't have any.
What
kind
a
of
pair,
department.
huh?
Just
I'm
investment.
blessed.
Is that why that it's just not,
We're
you're not getting
I-
those
yeah,
stories
yeah,
anymore?
no, I-
At the place,
there,
or
I mean,
place
stuff
of
comes
business, it's
through,
gonna
but
work
people,
out.
they need to have.
You'll have your money.
It's not that I have to do
Yeah.
That's what
You
you
just-
want.
you just
get mine what's right
That's
by mine.
Yeah,
Well,
there was.
that's
yeah, there's-
unfortunately, that's your problem.
You're pursuing that?
You should have thought, sorry about that before you let the horse out of the barn, sport. All we're
Because I
gonna do
think
now
if-
is get it
if
back.
there was a department,
Well,
I think
you know, that
would
happened
cover
to me,
a lot more
And I
stuff.
went to small claims.
You know, you would get
Especially
to
when
the-
she
It's
gets. into the-
wonderful.
Yeah.
You got the money?
This is
You got my money.
No.
It's a lot of work. to
Anita,
file
who's
and
up our
do
office.
all-
Well, that's what I'm tell him, but
And-
that goes over his head.
I said,
Yeah, but she
It's
gave
like
me
a
her word.
broken
She
guitar
gave me her
string.
word as a Christian. She
Like
would
a,
pay me back.
like a
for the
broken
White House.
guitar
I
string, huh?
couldn't get kids' names that were there
So
for,
the guys on the line?
for a wrestling
Nothing like a
contest.
good
They
line.
wanted the White House would even give me their names to reach out to them to do that.
Anyway.
He was
And,
so
and
distressed
she said
about
Hillary
that.
Clinton's campaign is all she's ever covered as far as access.
Okay.
I had someone
So
walk up to
traveling on the
me
campaign trail.
and
So
I had
traveling
him
is- she said a lot of things,
$80,000
you know, point traveling with Clinton.
and the $80,000
I brought
went
him
that way,
far away.
Wow.
and my
Doesn't
Okay.
heart went this way.
Okay.
She's getting on the bus or whatever, so she comes up.
Mhm.
I was just gonna say.
You're gonna call us with me. Come on.
Hey,
in.
come.
Goodbye. Goodbye. I got a guy calling with the new books. I figured you'd participate.
Hey, great.
Have a good one, John.
A lot of fun.
10 cents.
See ya.
Do that for us, or
I will look at it, yeah, definitely.
I'm telling you, you stand up in class and verbalize freeasflorida.com and what you'll have, you go just like
Where
this.
do you want me,
Alright.
Rick?
Try it.
Where
See
do
you
you
later.
want me?
Oh, right there's one. The red.
Okay.
Okay, Beverly's gonna be on the red mic. John's gonna be on the blue mic. I'll be on the yellow.
What time are we going on at 4?
Yeah. You gotta go Ben's room?
No, I'm gonna run and get out water.
3 minutes out.
Oh, give me one. Oh, no. Yeah, give me one too. You never know. I get an extra.
Want a
Is
coffee?
that your coffee or my coffee?
This was the end of yours. This is my tea.
Oh.
What would you like?
Oh, I'm all right. I don't want to drink too much coffee anymore. I've been drinking too much coffee.
One more day, and you'll be off. Well, you're going on Sunday, right?
Oh, yeah, Sunday. You coming over today to check things out?
Mm-hmm, yes.
And we've been cleaning it all up for you. We even have a cleaning lady come. Barbara says, oh, we gotta clean this up for Beverly.
Oh, I probably wouldn't notice. Okay. Mhm.
I don't think Susan's gonna work out, but,
Who didn't work out?
hey, where's,
Who didn't work out?
I don't know, where the heck is Gabby here?
No. What do you mean about Susan?
Where the hell is Gabby?
Brett,
Oh. Susan's not gonna work out. She's not selling anything,
I didn't think so.
you know, so.
John, could you close it?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Hey, Red.
Where are you?
I'm on my way.
Well, it's kind of late in the day. What's going on?
Yeah, I'll tell you when I get there.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right.
I'll see
Okay.
you in a little bit.
All right, we're waiting here for you.
I'll be there soon.
Okay.
Who's that?
Oh, she's in sales.
Oh, okay.
That's a tough job, Brett.
Here we go, Red. We're coming into a few commercials and popping back in.
What we need to do is get him out selling. We should, you know, you went out and let's say you have family and there was a car dealership or something.
Mhm.
Let's say a car dealership typically spends $3,000 a month. So 20% of that, $600 a month, right?
Mhm.
So wherever you're in college, I'd say mail you a check for $600 every month.
Mhm.
And you know what happens? I mean, that's that's $7,200 a year. I don't know, maybe you can't use that.
That's an
Oh, I can-
incentive, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
Maybe you can use that?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, then how about doing it?
I'll look. Yeah, I'll talk to my parents' friends and see if anybody's interested. Can definitely use money. I was
And
so lucky
you
to find
need to get out more.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
She's good at sales. She did great in sales.
Oh, yeah.
Susan's not gonna, she's not selling. Yeah, I
I
told her,
didn't-
it won't succeed if you don't want it as much as you want air. Oh, we got a guy in the line. Music is overmodulated. I haven't had my headset on all day, but it really, look at, this. Don't shake your head. It's sucky sound. It's sucky sound. I gotta have this better. Now on the air, is it not overmodulated? Okay, turn the master volume up on the headsets and down on the individuals a little bit. All right. It is I, the mayor of the airwaves. How are you this morning, ladies and gentlemen? 5% more. This gentleman we're going to talk to now says all you need is 5% more, and you can make small changes in your life to achieve extraordinary results. Good morning, Michael Alden. How are you? Good. Where are you calling in from? Boston baked beans. Park the car. Yeah, I'll be, I like to come up there. I was just up there a few weeks ago and went to Fenway. And, of course, I don't think the Sox are doing that well this year, right? Can you hear me or not? You said... Yeah. Michael, can you hear me? Okay, is it nice and loud and clear? Okay, because just a little hesitation in your speaking. I was wondering if you were having a hard time hearing me. Okay, in the studio today, of course, we have Beverly as one of my co-hosts. Good morning, Beverly. How are you?
Good morning. Very well. Thank you.
And we also have Mr. John Tompkins in here.
Morning.
And John Tompkins is attending school up in Virginia,
Washington and Lee University.
studying journalism.
And politics.
All right, 20 years of age. He's been writing for our magazine, Girls Voice Magazine, since he was 15. And Michael, of course, has a very colorful background. Michael, of course, is one of America's most popular direct response hosts, personalities, and founder of CEO of Blue Vase Marketing, a multi-million-dollar direct response. What's a direct response company, Michael? You're cutting out here. You keep cutting out. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, all right. So go ahead and tell us about your company. No, we're live on the air, so let's go with what we got. What tell us about your company? Okay, tell us about a product you took from the beginning and got it out. Okay, so why have you written this book, 5% More? turn my headset up a little, please? Uh-huh. Just bring my mic up just a hair. My mic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one nice thing about what you're doing is you use stories in your book. I love it. I love the stories you use, which is a great way to communicate. So
You know, Michael, looking at your book, I can see how you are setting an example because what motivates us? We need an example of somebody who has been in a situation who needed to be motivated.
mm-hmm.
And you had talked about action, but I have found if I read a book, an example will spur me on. I'll say to myself, if they did it, maybe I could do it. But if you know about their background, their struggles, it's really exciting. So your book is going to motivate people. I mean, 5% is such a small amount, isn't it? When you consider the amount of activity that's required in developing an idea.
That's why we singers don't want somebody to ride the mic. I want to be in control. So the point is, if you can't hear right, it's not an show. It's people can't hear that. They don't hear,
Like Tony said, we've got to put the processor on. Yeah, replace the microphone. Interesting, absolutely. Absolutely. Disney Pixar has microphone right now. And you know what? It's a fun to do that. We did. I got my sound and they said, what? These don't change every day, right? I'll hear one day you say it sounds perfect. The next day you say it sounds That's what I'm saying. Volume's good.
Right. Mm-hmm. So in a way, are you talking about programming the brain? The brain has to keep thinking, I can do 5% more, I can try.
I will disagree with that.
With this script, I don't need anything new. I don't bring in dancing girls. It's like all these people that try to sell. Do all this bullshit. I gotta have a kid. I gotta have this. I got bullshit. I gotta have fucking movie.
Let me ask you this, how successful were corporate and
Look, it's all bullshit. You know why? I succeeded. So fuck everybody else. Okay? I succeeded. You want to succeed? I did nothing in my life. I couldn't go.
That's conditioning the brain. It's repetitive, and that it sinks into your subconscious, right? And then the subconscious creates an action. Yeah, right.
I will never tell you something that won't make you a better product. And sometimes I won't like what I have to say, but I will never lie to you.
You got a little bit of problem.
More than that. Like you need that.
I'll listen to you.
All right.
All right.
My ego's too big to take the group.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right?
Maybe I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You know, it's interesting. Your book is the type of book I would pick up because I want to find out how I can improve myself, how I can experience more of life. And I want to give you an example. Wayne Dyer had written a book, What You Believe You Will See. And I read the book and I thought, what do I want to do in my life? I'm a widow. And one day I was at a marina and I saw these houseboats and I said to myself, I would like to own a houseboat and live on it. And everybody laughed at me. And I kept putting that in my brain. I would love to have a houseboat and live on it. And every time I told people I was going to have a houseboat, they laughed at me. A woman, you're not going to be able to do that. Well, I finally went down to the Keys. I found a houseboat and I bought it. I didn't know anything about operating a boat, but that gave me faith in how you can produce something that you believe. This is a dream, right? Yes.
What happened?
Yes, you really confirm that, yes.
Yeah, I wrote a song years ago. I used to sing at business conventions, positive thinking songs, and it went something like, you can have anything, anything you want to. All you need is the want to pull you through.
Wow.
You know,
I
you
think
gotta have that want to.
we have a young person here, and
Yeah.
I hope you're learning something about.
Well, he has a lot of want to. This is not the
I
guy
hope
that typically
so.
needs it. Huh?
I hope so.
Do you need motivation?
I don't think so.
No.
No, not typically.
Now, what do you think about the concept of his book here, though, the 5% more?
I think okay. I think it's great. I love that just a little bit, because a lot of people, if they really want to do something, but they have to put in a huge amount of effort, if they have to take a huge step, or kind of put off, and they don't do that. It's like, if you are trying to lose weight and you start by going to the gym every single day, or trying to you completely cut soda out of your diet, all of a sudden, it really doesn't work. But if you just give a little bit each day towards something, you're a lot more likely to succeed. So I think it's a great concept.
All right, 5% more to achieve extraordinary results. Michael Alden, we appreciate you coming on our show. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the listenership, Michael? Well, thank you very much, and I want to thank Jane Westman and that company for booking you on our broadcast. All right,
Thank you,
thank you,
Michael.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay, got to take a break, and we'll be back. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai. Also, today's broadcast brought to you by Center for Advanced Eye Care, 5 eye doctors that genuinely care about your eye care, and of course, Remax Crown Real Estate, very much involved in our community. Remax Crown Real Estate, under the auspices of Mr. King and Mr. King. They are the brokers. They will take good care of you. They only have the creme de la creme. So if you just want to do part-time real estate, it's not for you. They don't want you, and you don't want them. But you're a top producer. You'll get a better share of the pie, and you'll be treated extraordinarily well. A group of very lovely people over there at Remax Crown Real Estate. We appreciate their sponsorship of Vero's Voice magazine, and of course our daily show in its 23rd year. Mayor of the Airwaves. The quality of that ad sucks.
It's one of the ones we're replacing.
Now, once we hung up the phone, the quality was there for me. So something to do with that phone line brings down.
Here's one of two new ads playing.
Are you going on to 11? Mr. Palmer,
Right.
are we going on to 11?
No,
No, we're finished.
5 more minutes.
Oh, 5 more minutes.
Here's another one of the new ads.
Overmodulated in the headset. Bad quality. Something's wrong there.
Yeah.
Agreed on that
Doesn't
one.
have.
I can't hear you right. Making me hungry.
CJ Cabins, that's the place. There, overlooking the runway of the friendly home-style restaurant with food and service that will make you come back asking for more. CJ Cabins.
10 seconds, Rhett. And then we'll have about 3 minutes of airtime.
That's 567.
So John Tompkins is in here. He's been writing for Vero's Voice magazine since he was 15, heading back up to school.
Yep, Sunday afternoon.
Going into your second year or third
year.
So you've already completed 2
Already
years.
completed 2.
Oh
Yes.
my word.
Wonderful.
Time goes by so quickly. And you were in South Africa this summer or when?
In the spring, April and May.
So instead of going to school in the US, you were going to school there.
Well, it was technically school. I was taking a class, but it was basically an internship. I got
How
up
long?
every day and went to work. It was only a month.
What'd you work at?
I worked at Joburg Child Welfare in Johannesburg. It's a nonprofit organization, child welfare company.
Yeah.
So they run an adoption home, a home that takes care of kids who are on the street from age 0 to 18, brings them in, raises them, and teaches them life skills. And they run an after-school care facility, and they sort of take in every kid they can off the streets of Johannesburg.
Now, when I was in Zimbabwe, it was predominantly black. Is
Right.
South Africa predominantly
Very
black? or-
much so. I think it's the statistics are something like 9 out of every 10 are people of color. So
Okay, so was that because the Brits have left because of?
it definitely rose, I think, when they left, but throughout South Africa's history, it's been more so people of color, and definitely even when they were there were far more people of color.
How are they doing economically?
Not well. Their president is a psychopath, Jacob Zuma. Yeah, it's horrible.
Remember, I was married to a South African woman who was born and raised in Johannesburg, in the United States. I spent 6 months there in Joburg, Flatshurst, and nothing that I saw on TV, you probably can agree with me, compared to what happened.
Oh,
What
no.
No idea.
What?
It was that utterly poor, in chaos, and that violent.
Exactly, and that's what we worked in, because I worked for a child welfare company. It was a nonprofit. I worked out of El Dorado Park in Soweto almost every day, and we had to have guards because even when we went to our after care center, daycare center, sort of like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Daisy Hope Center, was very familiar to that, or very similar to that rather, in El Dorado Park. When we would leave at about 4 p.m., we had to have guards when we walked out of the gate, because even in broad daylight, they said that if we were left alone for more than a couple minutes, we would be robbed, beaten. It's
So
not
so
good.
why is it that when the Brits gave up Rhodesia, suddenly the administration sucks and people were in the streets? They were waiting an hour to get a bus to get home. They would get home at 11 o'clock, get up 4 o'clock in the morning to get a bus. It was mayhem. Now you're telling me in South Africa, since the Brits have left, that it is mayhem. Why is it everywhere that's this conquest, and then it just turns to ruins? I mean, it sounds like I guess people would say it's borderlines on prejudice,
Well,
but it's like, wherever this happens,
Well, it's
society
tough.
falls.
Right. Well, when the British left and when apartheid fell, you had a huge number of people come into power without very much experience. They've been oppressed for many years, and it's tough to just go in there and
Now,
form a government
Mandela
without
was
corruption.
brilliant beyond brilliant. I mean, there was greatness in Mandela. There's no doubt about it. Okay, kill the music then, would you? Why are we going to ads?
Because National is all over the place today.
Then I would rather stay on, because I wasn't completed. I didn't get to complete my show. I would rather stay on than fill the last minutes with ads.
Rhett, if I cut you off, that would be bad too.
No, I'd rather be cut off than have ads cut off. So I'd rather be cut off, because now, I mean, just right in the middle of that whole thing about South Africa, boom, we're gone.
Again, Rhett, I'm just trying to do my best behind the board here, sorry.
Okay, this happens every day though, so I don't want I'm gonna be in here tomorrow. I want to know what's going on with the 10:30 news. So get on the phone with him, figure it out, let's get it straightened out. Why is it still, this has been the same thing for a month going now. Why? Why is it not rectified? Who's not communicating with who?
It's not a matter of communication. It's a matter of being a stepchild to iHeart.
Okay, I will call. I want this done today. I shouldn't have to do this, but I will do it.
John, what an eye opener, huh?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
Right now, we're going on 2 minutes of National being late for bottom of the hour. Not my problem.
But it is our problem. It is our problem. Yeah. It's their problem. It's our problem because it makes my show suck.
Agreed. And this is an old issue that has not been resolved yet. We just broke into National at 2 minutes and 4 seconds past the half hour.
Well, then contact Heath now, okay? Right now. Text him, all right?
All right, let me pop in Financial Pulses segments, and then I will call Heath.
I don't know if I'd call. I don't want to overcall him. Text him. Save the calling because all of a sudden he's going to get burned out if he hears too much from me or you, you know?
Good morning, Vero Beach. Welcome to the Financial Pulse Radio Show. My name is Gene Ellis, your humble host today, and CEO of East Coast Active Financial Planning.
Now that sounds better now. You just adjusted something. He sounded terrible, then he sounded good.
And we are in this week, we're in the home stretch. Last week, we talked about index annuities, talked about variable annuities, and just kind of teed it up as far as what we've done in past shows. Just want more information, go to our website, eastcoastactivefinancial.com, and click on the Financial Pulse there right up front page at the top, and that'll take you to our blog section where we've got additional information about this month's set of shows, this series about annuities and different types and how they work. We've got some videos, blog posts, and just lots of helpful things there for you. And of course, you can always give our office a call anytime that we talk about something on the radio that rings with you that you would like to get more information on, or say, you know what, I got one of those investments and I am kind of curious of how they work or what the progress has been or the performance. You can always give us a call. Our phone number is 772-774-7970. That's 774-7970. Well, like I said, we have an annuity series this month where we're breaking down every week talking about a different type of annuity. And again, we started off with variable annuities, mixed index annuities last week. This week we're going to talk about multi-year guaranteed annuities, single premium annuities. These are annuities that are kind of boring. They're vanilla annuities, if you want to call them that. They're not a lot of moving parts to them like there are with variable annuities, especially or mixed index annuities. They typically don't have any fees to them, and if they do, very minuscule or small. They are, in many times, we'll compare them to CDs when we're talking about multi-year
So are we off for good this morning?
Yeah.
So 8 o'clock tomorrow, David Walsh?
Yeah.
All right, you come back in?
Yeah.
At a good time. Hear from Jody at all since she left last time?
No, not really. She's working at for that Christian station out west of town.
Oh, yeah.
They have this national Christian news thing.
Mm-hmm.
You ought to go out there and connect with them. Just to say they're a little on the extreme side, but you could learn something.
What happened to Tim?
Tim's been gone for a long time. We had Sheen since then. Sheen had Ruby, had a better job. Now we got Sean. Everything moves around.
Somebody every month.
Yeah.
So you've done some writing for the Lost Boys.
Yeah, for years now. I can't believe it.
What was your subject?
It's changes every month. It's usually politics. It's my favorite thing to write about. But it gets on a whole slew of things.
Okay.
I do it usually just whatever I feel like writing about that month. So
Good.
yeah, I have a lot of fun with
Do you
it.
feel you're a natural writer?
I like to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it comes pretty easily.
To me, natural writers want to write all the time.
Yeah, I do. I like to write. When I get into it, I really like to write. That's what I wrote all summer. That's what I did for my job. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Have that passion.
Yeah.
Then you'll do well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
So. Just got to keep it up.
A lot of competition out there. You know, with computers, more people are writing than ever before.
Yeah, I know. It's tough to get a job. It's tough. But there's more opportunities though, which is nice. You know,
coming in here, you know, as an intern, actually, you're experiencing, and that experience, you know, grows within you.
Right.
It's like experiencing life. Yeah. So how did you know them before you started writing?
Well, I met Barbara through Pam Proctor, one of her friends. So yeah, and then because Pam had said, well, you should talk to Barbara, and that was when the magazine was younger then too. It was fairly new, and she's, you know, they have read Barbara at this Heroes Voice magazine, so you should connect with them. And so I did.
Great magazine.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Before I knew Rhett, I used to come here and pick up the magazine.
Hmm.
I think of all the publications here in Bureau,
Yeah,
that was the most interesting.
yeah, better than 32963.
I don't know.
32963 is like a tab.
Yeah, I'm lazy. I don't like sitting in
Yeah.
big paper.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But their news articles are
Yeah.
interesting.
And it's free too. You can't beat it.
True.
You can't beat it.
So is Bureau's Voice.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so amazing in this community. There are like 5 publications.
Yeah, Vero Beach Magazine.
Isn't it amazing they're all existing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it hurts us a great deal. There's nobody in town now. It's just all these dopes come along, pain in the ass.
How you guys doing this summer? How'd you guys do with sales?
Very
and that kind
well,
of thing? Yeah,
because of the politicians, yeah.
that's
32963 had like one political ad, and we had 18.
oh yeah, because well you have wow, that's a lot. That's good though that they want to advertise with you. It's too bad about Mark and Joe.
So you know about the politics of,
I had to because when you come home I had to vote, so I had to, and I'd met Mark from the studio, Rodolico, and then Joe also from going on air with him, and then my mom is good friends with Debbie Mayfield, so I've known her for many years, and then my mom's also friends with Aaron Grawl, so there were a couple that I had to look up, mostly the judges that I didn't really know who they were. But
that was the hardest part for me. Which judge?
yeah, yeah, that was most of the ones because they have the names.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for
Moylan?
Nicholas. It was either between Moylan or him. I think I voted for McNicholas, and I voted for Jim McMahon. But I didn't really know a lot about him. I just read what they were saying and tried to pick somebody who sounded,
Yeah.
like they wanted to do the
We
job.
were
And they were
impressed with
close.
Boylan. He was here
Oh, really?
with his children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was good.
Mhm.
I liked him, but I think he went down pretty badly. I don't think he got. I was trying to look at.
I like Meadows' background though.
That's who T.C. Palm
He struggled.
endorsed.
He really struggled. No college.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah.
And yeah, Laura Zorg was on school board, and then Tim. What's it called? Commission. So. Yeah.
Well, we had the opportunity to hear them here.
Wow. That would have been good to actually hear them come on.
Yes. And then a couple of days ago, before the election, it was a little conflicting here.
Yeah, right.
All of a sudden, we got down to the wire. You said that wasn't right. Oh boy.
Oh, really? Who was that?
That made it interesting listening.
What happened?
Was Ehrman and Zork.
Oh, were they on together?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, with this atmosphere, people can walk in.
Yeah.
And Brett is receptive to that.
Right.
So Zork was very upset about what was said to him about him.
Yeah.
He was on the phone, so Red said, "If you feel that way, you ought to come in here." He was here 15 minutes later on the microphone defending his position. And I respect that.
Yeah.
But this is a great forum.
Yeah.
Red allows that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are too cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Tim did really well.
Yeah. And his wife did well, but
Laura did well.
she presented herself very well here. I was impressed.
And what's it called? And Susan Adams also won.
See, I didn't know about the Adams.
Well, I found out Gilmore got ousted as being Mayor Fellsmere, so
He did?
they threw him out. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't. That's what I was trying to figure out. I don't know. I just saw these articles that he's like ousted Mayor Gilmore is doing this or that, or I could never figure out
we
what
didn't.
happened.
He never told us that.
So
No.
I did say he was the mayor of Sebastian.
Sorry, Sebastian.
Yeah.
She was Susan Adams was Mayor Fellsmere. He was Mayor Sebastian.
Yeah.
He got the council threw him out.
Really?
Yeah, and I couldn't figure out why. It didn't bode well for him. And then I looked at Susan Adams, seemed more qualified. So.
That's too bad. But he's worked in the women's prison.
Oh, really?
I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who else? Yeah, there was the judges, and then Nolte and Wesley Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But they said Wesley Davis did something that hurt him. I forgot what they did. He did. I read in it was in the paper or something. They said something, or Wesley Davis, that he said something or came across as like arrogant or something like that. I
really?
forgot who. But Nolte, that was pretty close though, wasn't it? Nolte and Wesley Davis, they were only a couple points apart.
1,000 points, 1,000 votes
Yeah,
out of maybe 13,000.
yeah. I thought Mark would do better than he did
Yeah.
for Indian River. But Debbie, they were saying, I think it was TC Palm saying that Debbie should have done a lot better for being from Indian River County. She only got 56% of the vote from
Debbie Murphy.
Mayfield.
Yeah.
But she's gonna be a Democrat.
I just wonder what's going on behind the scenes because she put $500,000 into her campaign.
Yeah, she spent a lot of money. They're saying a lot of that was negative. They were saying there were a lot of complaints about negative campaigning from her and from the other, what's his name? One other guy, Workman, Thomas. But the stuff I would get about Aaron Grawl, I don't know if you got those mailers, was crazy.
Oh.
The big business packs that were backing Wayne Sykes. We sent one of them was a mailer this big and it had a picture of a grizzly bear and her face faded in and it was the cat. It had a big thing. Some predators are in disguise or something like that. It was like Aaron Grawl has torn apart businesses. She's
So
an
they gave
ambulance
that
chaser.
guy Sykes $300,000.
Yeah.
People did.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, there was $300,000 or $400,000 spent on crap like that.
Mhm.
They spent the better part of $1 million, over $500,000.
That's
And they
what
lost.
Negative campaigning doesn't work here.
It doesn't. I wonder why.
Exactly.
Because
It
people
doesn't.
don't like it. I know. I was so put off when they did
Mhm.
because my mom's known Erin for a long time and she's really nice. And they were saying
Yeah.
she's an ambulance chaser and she's she doesn't know what she's doing with the lagoon and and then you have these huge business super PACs in Tallahassee that are throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars into sites.
And she won by so much.
She cleaned them up. Yeah, she was.
Mhm. Yeah.
In a four-way race, she almost got like 45% of the vote.
Mhm.
So that must have been. Did you ever have her on, or anybody from
Oh,
Stanford?
yeah.
Have
They've
Sykes
all been
or
on.
yeah,
Her
Oh, they're all
father.
on.
Yeah,
Again
they're
and again and again.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
beautiful people.
yeah.
Hmm.
Who?
Who's that?
Yeah, I learned a lot by
Yeah.
having people here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only way really to
Mhm.
get to know them, to see them.
But I didn't know Gilmore was ousted.
That's
No, I didn't know that either.
I can't believe you didn't say that.
So did you have breakfast yet?
Yeah, before I left,
All right.
when I go back.
Do you want to have
The
breakfast
grandparents.
next door or do you want to go out to CJ Cannon's?
It's up to you. You're paying.
I know. Well, both, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Yeah, look at-
matter. We can go right here.
What time is it? 10:49. Yeah, because we don't get going with CJ Cannon's. We better.
Yeah, that's right. After ouster of Sebastian, Mayor Gilmore will run for county commission.
Interesting.
You got everything?
Yeah. Go get on the phone with them. You have to get them up here. Want to do a little bit
So that's a
I would use that technique.
But still, you, I mean, when you walk in, you walk in Kingsbury, there's those street lights, there's panels. There's
Beverly, do that up here. Come on.
Unreal, man.
Yeah. All right.
Teach you
See
that
you
stuff.
tomorrow.
It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, you got to. I'll be back here.
All right.
Beverly, it was nice to meet you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, you too.
That leads me into annuitization. So back in the day, 10 plus years ago, very popular. People buy annuities to ties. And annuitization basically is almost like first amortization. It's almost like you make a principal.
Yeah, what's that?
I'll be back to wash the cups.
Oh, we'll get that, bro.
Okay.
Interest,
We got
make a little bit of principal. And with annuitization, it looks just that way. Basically, you turn your money with interest rate, and they determine what that interest rate is going to be and how much you can get back based off your life expectancy. So, of course, the older you get, the higher those bigger the payouts are, the lower the lower payouts. So some annuities are deferred annuities where you're going to wait for a certain period of time before you annuitize. You're going to have maybe a larger payment by waiting. The longer you wait, kind of like a pension. If you ever had a pension, the longer you wait, or like Social Security, the longer you wait, the higher the payment. There's also what they call single premium immediate annuities. And those are when you make a large deposit and then you immediately start taking income. You immediately annuitize that annuity. Here's one of the big pitfalls with annuitization and why we utilize it so little nowadays because of the low interest rate environment that we're in. Because the interest rates are so low, a lot of annuitization rates, most of them are based off of what the current interest rate environment is right now. Of course, the interest companies have to use bond market obligations. So many times these annuities can't see too often unless it's part of maybe part of a legal settlement, injury settlement, any kind of structured settlement, single premium annuities,
Yeah, triples.
or even deferred annuities. But when it comes to income, typically what we'll see is higher income comes from things like fixed index.
Next to,
What's called a lifetime income payout.
what's that?
That wraps up our
Yeah, what
fixed
it is
annuity segment.
coming up
I know
one
that's
minute.
a lot of stuff to cram into just a short segment. One more information for our website.
You know, the space changes when you get some of those management. No, yeah, no, I think that is like real sub drug shit. He's overmodulating. Red, calm down, you're overmodulating. I'm gonna play boot camp again.
But again, 772-774-7970. Every single Thursday, 10:30 a.m.
Ah,
radio dial.
50% there.
always listen to us anywhere in the world on iHeartRadio. Just type in WAXE at 10:30 a.m. Every single Thursday, right here on Waxy Radio, the Financial Pulse. Or you go to our website, listen.
Hold on, I'm cutting the break, hold on a second.
EastCoastTaxFinancial.com and click on Financial Pulse. You'll see past reviews there. I'm Danny Howes for the Financial Pulse. We'll see you next week. Make sure you're protecting that money first, but most importantly, make sure you know what you're protecting and from.
Where is he? Did he leave?
Yeah, they're going somewhere. He parked that in there. Wasting time.
Yeah, I got one battery.
Caribbean Kitchen, we need to read it.
Oh, is that red though?
What?
That was red, right?
Huh? Yeah.
That one not that bad.
Oh, Susan's quitting? Oh, he said, she's quitting, well, I said, well, look at yourself, man.
Not me.
I told him, look at himself, he didn't like that.
Hey,
Here comes the late Zeke.
hello there.
Play. I'll put it on the,
How are you?
hey, Beth, how you doing?
Good. Battery.
Slap over modulator.
Battery. Hey, are you close? Okie doke. See you shortly. Bye. Good.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by 60 Month. Great cars, great prices, great service at the purchase. 360 Monday.
What, Beth?
These are the old ones. These are the new ones, and I don't know how they go in, and I like to find one new one.
Well, then that's not gonna work, because we need two new ones. This is the new one? Okay, let me track that one. I've gotta get Beth into her show, and then I will do that for you, okay?
Hello there.
Hi there.
How are you? Hey, Rat, it's Abby. Call me back.
Ready.
I gotta use it for now. Kind of.
I see your sweatshirt, so maybe I won't sweat today.
Hey, how are
I
you?
know, I was chilly when I first came in, but we'll see. Good morning.
Howdy.
How are you?
And I did not rewrite our paper, but I can at least show it to him for after the break.
Okay.
When we come back. Fancy,
I gave you new ones.
fancy schmancy.
They were good.
Is there a liner in that garbage?
No. Do you need paper?
I'm gonna put my gum in something.
I found something last time, remember?
Yeah, we did.
Here's some cards.
That'll do.
Okay.
3.5 minutes, like all day. So how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
Good.
You good? Diane started her job yesterday.
Yeah, she loves it. Yeah, she's got high hopes. So it's exciting.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm just tired and haven't been sleeping. I got a big meeting with Stephen Schlitt this afternoon, so see how that goes.
Heavy or?
No, I spoken to other brokers and spoke to my manager and told him what I would like to see happen. We'll see if it does.
Oh, cool.
We'll see. Reset to reminder to shut my thing off. Hello. No, I'm sitting in the studio. We go on in about 2 minutes. In the hard envelope, there was nothing. All right. Okay. Well, I got a meeting with Stephen at 3, so I'll try and get it before that. All right, babe. Love you. Bye. Oh, come on. Tonight I'm supposed to go to Joe Hagerty's house to bring a meeting with some other people to him.
How's he doing?
I don't know. I didn't even know. Adam told me about it, and Adam told me he had fallen and he just broke a lower.
About a minute and a half out, you guys.
Not a hip. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But some lower extremity. So I think he was going to meeting last night. It's so weird. Feel this hand, and then feel that.
Wow.
This is cold.
Way colder.
Yeah. But
Were you holding something cold?
no. No, last night I noticed it too. So I'll see him tonight, unless I poop out.
Oh, I said hi.
I will. And Diane's boss said she can go to New York, so she's just gonna go to New York in October.
The baby's here.
See, cute kid. I don't think babies are pretty, but I think that baby's pretty. I don't know why. Usually they look like aliens.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Beth Walsh Erickson in the studio today with my partner in crime, Lee Kimball. I always call you that. I'm sorry. How are you, Lee?
I am well, thank you, Beth.
You really aren't in any crimes, but I guess it's just a phraseology I've come to know with you.
I don't know which would be worse, being in crime or being your partner.
I don't know. It's a tough one. Well, today we're going to do this show on letting go. What do you think? Letting go. We hear people talk about that all the time. Letting go. And, what does that have to do with anything? So I thought it might be an interesting kicking off point. Sound good?
Absolutely. Well, it can mean many things.
A long time ago, I wrote this down. I don't know if I wrote it, if I heard it, if someone else said it. I usually give credit when I have a quote, and I don't have that, but I put it in quotes anyway, because I'm not sure if I wrote it or someone else wrote it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It is healthy to identify with the past. It is unhealthy to define myself by the past.
Whoever said it, right on.
It is right on, isn't it? It is.
Absolutely.
It's kind of when we do workshops on some of these things, I know a couple of times I brought clothes with me. Do you remember those? And I had the big clothes and the little clothes. So,
yes.
so my question is, do your clothes fit? when you go to the store to pick out a new outfit, are you gonna peruse the children's section? And if not, why not? Is it just because you don't like whales and giraffes and tigers on your clothes? Or is it because the size is wrong? You know,
I will be in the children's section because my darling Diane just became a grandma.
isn't that exciting? That is very exciting. Congratulations, Diane. That's really,
Welcome,
that's
Amy
big
Emerald.
news. Yeah, that's wonderful. But, so we say that, but if I want to be comfortable in my clothing, it's important that I wear the right size. If I wear too big, I might trip over it. If I wear too small, it might like restrict me or make me feel uncomfortable. And my own clothes in my size let me breathe freely. And I can, you know, I mean, what I choose to wear, what fits me the best, makes me feel the most comfortable. Does that make sense?
And perform the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm going to ask you a question. What about your beliefs?
Ah,
Are you wearing someone else's beliefs? Because they might be too big or too small for you.
or perhaps beliefs you've outgrown.
That's right. For many of us, we grew up with the beliefs of someone else, maybe even another whole group. And like, what do I mean by that? So let's kind of get people, if you're out there listening today, I just want you to think about it. What kind of beliefs did you grow up with? And you might be saying, no, it wasn't like that where I grew up. So I'm going to ask, you know, how did you grow up? Where did you grow up? For example, there's differences between these three people. An Irish Catholic growing up in Boston, Massachusetts, a Mormon from Salt Lake City, Utah, and a Baptist from Nashville, Tennessee.
You think?
You know, so there's differences between the three of those. You know, I'm not saying that one is right and one is wrong. I'm just talking about different things.
Different perspectives.
Right. A family religion coupled with a place of birth. That's what I talked about. A family religion, whatever your family's religion was, coupled with a place of birth. If your family had a religion, you could have been an atheist from De Pere, Wisconsin. You know, I mean, I don't know. Because basically, you grow up with what's in your home. And you get those beliefs, kind of, whether you want them or not.
By exposure.
That's absolutely true. You know, obviously, everybody listening, you might be thinking, okay, I did grow up Irish Catholic in Boston, Massachusetts. How did she nail me? But the deal is this, not everybody still practices those beliefs, the belief systems that they grew up with, what they learned as a child. But nonetheless, there is a teaching that can come early in life because of things like that. There are some things you learned early in life simply because the way your parents were raised. Or if you didn't grow up with your parents, the way the people who raised you were raised.
Well, hence the hand-me-down beliefs we've spoken of in the past.
Very, very true. Where you grew up can affect you. I grew up in the Chicago area. It was cold in the winter. There was a lot of snow. That's what I knew. It's a difference than living in Vero Beach, Florida. You know, a really bad weather day for us might be a really rainy, windy day where we're all like, oh gosh, it's so bad out. But bad day in Chicago might be 4 feet of snow already on the ground and it's snowing like crazy. So it's differences. It's just what you learn. It's what you grow up with. It's what you experience. And for some of us, we grew up with some musts. Did you have any musts in your house when you were growing up?
I think maybe the basic must, not really sure where you're going, but
Well,
the
any basic
musts.
musts are good. What are you thinking of? When I say must, like, did you have to be at dinner? Did you have a dinner time?
Oh, when I was a kid, you had to be in before it got dark.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you had to do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
You had to, respect your elders, whether it was your parents or any elder.
Okay, anybody in authority like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you can think of?
Oh my goodness, you had to eat your vegetables.
Did you have to go to a certain school?
Oh, well, yes, but I wasn't aware of it. I went where I was told.
That's right. That's like the same thing. For some of us, if you were raised with a religion, you had to go to church on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
For some of us, if you had a parent that was out of town, you had to be there when they came in. When they were coming into town, you had to be there. The family had to be there waiting. I had a friend that had that. Her dad traveled. He was a traveling salesman of some sort, but when he was coming home, everybody had to be there, kind of lined up and ready. How about, did you have any chores you had to do on Saturday, or did you have to make your bed, or did you have any of that stuff?
It's funny, I have slim recollections, but I do recall that I would have to help my dad in the yard, but that was more of a privilege than a task.
And you're a gardener today. You love to garden today.
I am.
It's an interesting thing. That might have come from some of that, because you saw it as a privilege, the way you read it, instead of seeing it as I have to do yard work with my dad. The way you read it might be why you enjoy gardening today.
Possibly.
It's a very weird thing, but these beliefs come with us, and we grow up in them. And some of you listening are going, "Oh my gosh, she's really getting into it." Like we're but some of the things we learned are things we just learned because of the people that raised us, and the truths that they knew they were trying to pass on to us. And that can be good, and that can be bad. And as we grow, we just need to be able to know that there were beliefs that might need to be challenged. I'll give you an example. My grandma Walsh, was from Ireland, and she had a heavy brogue. And one of the things she would say is that if you put shoes on the table, it was bad luck.
I've heard that.
Now, what does that mean? If you put a pair of shoes on the table, it's bad luck. So never put shoes on the table, or you'll